No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. It is 2:33 on a Saturday afternoon, and I'm in here tapping in with a man who, realistically, we've been talking about doing an interview for probably 6 years.
Is that what?
I'm trying to think of like when we
It's been
first.
a long. That's.
We
how
first
long?
started communicating during the 6ix9ine era,
Wow.
and that was about 6 years ago. Time flies.
Oh, shit.
Doesn't feel like 6 years, right?
Okay. Damn. 6-year anniversary.
Pull the mic in a little bit.
6-year anniversary.
And we finally made it happen after all these years.
Yeah, because I told you didn't love me. That's why.
Ah,
like-
yeah. You did give
like,
me a
yeah,
little
you
bit
know.
of a guilt trip a couple times
I was
there,
like,
yeah.
yeah, you don't love me, homie. Of course I can't come to your show.
No, I got to tap in, though. I got to tap in with Spanky
Okay.
Loco, man. I'm trying to get the full story.
What story?
Your story.
Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah.
you're a legend, but I feel like, you know, as you reach legend status, sometimes people lose sight of where exactly you were coming from and how you got where you're at today. So I definitely want to tell the whole story from day one,
Day one.
if you don't mind.
West LA. I'm from West LA.
Right.
Right down the Wayway.
Mm-hmm.
So Venice, La Cienega area.
Okay.
Yeah. Born in the area.
What year?
75.
75.
So
Okay.
your boy's an old head, you know what I'm saying?
You got about 8 years on me.
Yeah. Peter Pan. I'm Peter Pan, homie. Yeah, Peter Pan.
Peter Pan, as in you're
A
just
little kid
young
with a
forever?
grown man's body, you know what I'm saying? Little kid with a grown man's body.
How do you keep that youthful exuberance?
I've been working on not putting my feelings into things. You know what I'm saying? Like not being so critical about, our imperfections. You know what I'm saying? Accepting, my peers and situations as they come and taking it one day at a time without overwhelming myself and getting upset over things that don't work out my way.
Well, that is a good point. I think that when it comes to like getting older, but still keeping a little bit of youthful energy, you have to resist that urge to feel like you know everything, you've seen everything, you've done
That part.
everything.
Yes.
The music that I fucked with when I was in high school was the best shit ever, and all this new shit sucks. And like, as soon as you start to take on that attitude,
Yes.
you're getting closer and closer to the old head category, and you're getting closer and closer to the point where younger people won't give a shit about your opinion.
There you go. So, I try to keep an open mind, especially with, the same music, art, the whole biz, you feel me? There's stuff I don't, teach their own, There's some stuff I gravitate to, there's stuff I don't, but it don't mean I'm gonna go and say, it's like trash or, nah, like, let's get it, keep going, congratulations. It'll get better with time, you feel me?
Because the thing that you can't forget is that if there's, 50,000 or 100,000 or 500,000 kids or just people in general that love a song so much or love an artist so much that they're like obsessed with that person, they're not wrong. You just might not understand why they're obsessed. But as you learn more about it, you can uncover it. And it doesn't mean that you need to like pretend to be as impressed as, you would be maybe if you were 18. But like you could still zero in on what it is about this that resonates with people. And to me, that's how I think of it. I try to care about the fact that other people care, even if I don't personally care. I want to like uncover what the reason is.
Right. And then I feel like also expanding your palette is important. Being cultured is important, you know what I'm saying? It's like trying different things is amazing. So I think that's where I'm at.
Right.
So I'm not quick to shoot shit down or like, oh, fuck that or fuck them or fuck their side or fuck this side or I don't know.
But you know what the thing is that the story of history is like the story of shit getting watered down. And like
Of course.
the version of, let's just say, the streets that you grew up around,
Right.
it's not the same. It's like as time goes by, it gets more watered down.
Yeah, I was talking to a little homie on the way, and we're going through West LA, and you see all the, buildings and all the new residences and shit, and I go, look, man, look at that big badass building in the hood right there on, going through Washington and before the 10, and it's like, look where all the out of towners, you know what I'm saying, are residing, And it's not like it used to be, you feel me? It's like so condensed with people that are not really connected to the area. It makes it a little different.
Your area is super gentrified now?
Yeah. It's getting there, yeah, for sure.
Does
Just
that
getting there.
what feeling does that give you? Because it's got to be like part of you feels like the local charm is leaving, but then on the other hand, if it gets safer,
Right.
if people who have lived there for a long time
Right.
are able to profit from the houses getting more valuable.
Correct. I mean, the name of the game is to win and to you know lift your kids, lift your family, lift your community. I think that's. But I'm on some other shit, homie.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I'm on some other shit. I'm on some other shit. You know, working with youngsters, going in institutions. So when it comes down to that, to the economy, to the community, to how we're raising our kids, you know, like yeah, we came from that environment, but you know, I don't wanna like, although this is the tool that we used to kind of heal that trauma, right? Make money, talk about our story, all these interesting things. I feel like you still want to push your kids in another direction. You feel me? You still want to do the best, even though, you know, our situation was a little questionable and a little different. But that's something you instill right away. At least in my home, it's like, you know, hey, do better, homie. Like, because they looking at us. We brown. We don't get the opportunities that other people get. You feel me? We don't get them, homie. So you gotta do hard. You gotta work harder than everybody else, boy. And that's the message. You feel me? And that message is for everyone. You know what I mean?
So being born in 1975, your upbringing in LA, was it solely a Hispanic community that you were living in, or was it more mixed? Or like, tell us what the dynamic was
Man,
like.
It was kind of diverse. There was PBGs. PBGs was right there. The Playboy Gangsta Crips was right next door. Went to Shenandoah Elementary. So it was, you know, predominantly African American and Mexican. You know, so that was you know, my it wasn't uncommon. You know, it was like people of color. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm at now, I'm you know, back and forth Pacific Northwest, and I come back and forth. And when I went out there, I thought, man, we're gonna go to a place where it's peaceful, loving. They're gonna embrace us and all that, but it's not like that. Homie.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear you say that because I always think of it as a very woke, sort of like inclusive place when I think about Seattle.
No.
Really? Super white, like high percentage.
Super white, Republican.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Trump flags everywhere. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then the more you go out of the metropolitan area, I'm not in the city. If I was gonna be in the city, I'd stay here. You feel me? I'm surrounded by water. You gotta take a ferry where I'm at. I don't mind if, you know, you drive out a little bit to be in a posh ass spot. You feel me? My place is humble, nice, but
that's
area,
the dream right there.
Excuse me?
That's what I always think about. It's like one day just getting a nice crib off in the woods and just barely having to interact with people at all. Like that sounds so alluring compared to just being out here in the city and being around so much shit.
So it's different, homie.
Yeah.
Like, you got to acclimate to that shit. Because the first, you know, even the first day, I landed March 10th and of 2 years ago, March 10th was like freezing to me. I was like, oh, hell no. We're not going to last here, you feel me? And they packed the shit up, let's go, you know?
Yeah.
But you acclimate, and just like everything, you acclimate to the environment, and it's been all right. You know, navigating that shit really opened my eyes, and I said, fuck, like here, I don't stand a chance, homie. Like here, what I did everywhere else don't mean nothing in white land. You feel me? It don't mean nothing when you're in an area that wants to oppress you, that wants you, you know, take your legendary status, think that what you do is a joke. You feel me? It ain't a contribution. You feel me? It ain't a contribution to the culture. You feel me? And when you battling that, you know what I'm saying? Then you start thinking about, okay, what can I do in my community? At least for me, You know what I'm saying? And then it opens up other things, like now, you know, serving my community, going into juvenile detention centers to work with youngsters, you know, to talk about culture, make them feel wanted, make them feel loved, give them what they're not getting in that area. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're not around people like you, what do you think is the feeling, right? Like, you don't want to be that. You want to be what everybody is, right?
Do you think that you deal with way harsher discrimination because of the fact that you got your whole face tattooed, so that like a huge percentage of people, even if they don't know anything about gangbanging, look at you and they're like, oh, gangbanger, high alert.
MS.
Mm.
So I mean, I understand. This is my business suit. You feel me? This is my business suit. You know, I tattoo all over the world. I do art. I sell art. I sell paintings. I do canvases and tattoos and things. So this is my business. And when you're around tattooers, it's like, yeah, let me collect from this homie. Let me collect from that homie.
Mm.
So to me, it's not getting blasted. It's collecting. I'm a collector. I'm an art collector. You feel me?
Because I always kind of assumed that your face tattoos and everything was a bunch of street shit. But then when I was actually like watching an interview with you and I was looking at it, and I'm like, oh, like it's actually a bunch of art stuff. Like you got it like a little bit later in your life, right?
No.
Oh.
I got a bunch of street shit on me.
Right, but not on your face so much, right?
I mean, I got the hood on me. Definitely, I got the hood on. You know, but it went from
it's more artistic than what you see a lot of people
It
with.
went from incorporating the street stuff,
Right.
what I had, you know, to collecting from homies and saying, hey man, you know, put that Chicano stuff on me, and going from lettering and blasting the hood to hey, I want to collect some arte, or hey, I love what you do, you know, or and then, you know, there's still times you want to, you know, I got some letters I need to fill up the hood, or let me, you know, but it's not like, man, I need to get off, you know, like we have fun with that, and you don't have to represent like that when you fresh.
Right.
You gotta represent. You feel me? So you gotta let it be known. You feel me? And now it's I love collecting.
Last night I was thinking about like why I never got my whole face tattooed, and I was thinking how like it feels like it getting your whole face tattooed is such a way for you to make yourself more known, more notable, because it's like if you have anything going on, you include the face tattoo thing, it's like impossible for people to forget you.
Okay.
They just see you and they remember you because it stands out to them so much. But then I started picturing myself like going into 7-Eleven. And I was thinking to myself, like, I feel like I would have to like make sure I dressed nice and like presented myself nice. Right. Because a lot of people, when they see the fucking full face of tattoos, they're just gonna go immediately into a bunch of assumptions, right?
Correct. And you know, we asked for that. I know what I'm doing. Like I know what I'm walking into, right? But it's my job to break that stigma. It's my job to tell you, man, I'm a professional. I employ people. You know what I'm saying? I take care of my kids. I take care of my business. You know what I'm saying? I spread the love. You feel me? We get money, we spread it with the homies. Hey, come do me this video. Hey, produce this track. Hey, take these pictures here. You know, that's important, homie. So generating the economy and focusing on what's crucial, that's everything. You know, and if you got to work harder, I'm already working, you know, as being hindered by being Chicano, being hindered by being brown, being hindered by being an ex-felon, being hindered by being a gang member, being hindered by all these things. I mean, you know, I still got to break that stigma and let you know, like, where I'm coming from. If you don't like, you know, without the tats anyway, you're still going to make your assumption. You say, oh, it's Chicano, it looks like a homie, you know. But that's okay. This is my business suit. People pull me over, hey, tattoo? No, I'm a pastor. Yeah, give my number real quick, you know? Yeah, call me up. Let me blast you up. So it works out for me, you know? I sell tattoos. I go all over the world selling tattoos, do conventions, and do my thing. So, you know, selling art is it. You know, as far as being hindered and you know, we asked for that, but at the same time, we're breaking that stigma. But I'm working harder at breaking that stigma, homie. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta sit there and tell you what's what, if you feel that compelled to know my story, you know? And you know, for the majority of the time, when I do have these interactions and I break these barriers, man, I make friends out of the most interesting people. You feel me? The most interesting people.
You feel like people are drawn to you because of the face full of tattoos? That, like, I've noticed that with people in my life who had full face tattoos, that it just felt like a lot of people just talked to them for no reason, and they would just end up in a lot of like weird little interactions with people because random person on the street just wants to talk to you. Yeah,
for sure, definitely, and that's, you know, that's amazing. You You know, good energy though. I'm projecting good energy, so I want good people to come up to me.
Right.
You know, it used to be I'd have different people come to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it was also like I asked for that. I wanted that.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted that.
So I definitely want to get into more of the tattoo stuff and everything. But so how crazy was it growing up in LA during the era that you grew up compared to like how you see it today? You feel like it was totally lawless back then in comparison to now? It's like a little bit more buttoned up now?
I mean, you know, you got a bunch of snitches now. Like with the phone, it's like everything is documented. Everything is documented. So, like, what can you really do? You know what I mean? What can you really do? It used to be you just do your dirt and you sucked it up, you know? It wasn't going to be like, let's document this or let's take a picture of this. Like, nah, you didn't do that, you know? You didn't do that stuff. So it was, you could, you know, besides the landscape changing and all these new buildings coming and, you know, out of towners and all, you know, the city developing the way it is and things growing and things evolving, evolution, you know what I'm saying? Definitely it's I feel like it's different. The homies that used to be, they don't make them like that no more. You know? And if you a youngster that's blessed to be around homies that live that lifestyle and kind of guide you and tell you the rights from wrongs, that's everything. You got to know how to navigate around that stuff. You feel me?
Yeah, because I mean, you lived through a lot of the craziest eras of Los Angeles.
I was telling the homie we're coming down La Cienega and we're passing the Target, right? You know what I'm saying? Right there by the jungles, and I tell him that used to be the Fedco. They used to be the Fedco. And I remember when the LA riots kicked off, we was hella young, little kids. I remember me and this youngster and me and one of the homies and one of the little homegirls, we went out there in her Nissan Sentra. We were in school. Jumped in her Nissan Sentra and went straight to the Fedco. And, you know, go in there, and it was a fucking mess. It was shit. Like, the whole city was on fire, homie.
It was already fully, like, looted and shit?
Yeah, I remember walking into the department. It's just like a department store, and there was blood everywhere. Blood all over the floor, homie. All over. All over the floor from people running in, right? They had to bust in through the gates, through the front doors, the gates and the glass and everything. And then all the counters were in the front. So they was busting in to get that stuff, right? So there was blood everywhere. So people were coming in, slipping, falling, cutting themselves, and that's where all the blood was from.
Wow.
When I go in there and I look over, yeah, this lady runs in and immediately slips and falls and probably cut herself up. And
did it feel like you were just taking advantage of the moment, or did it feel like this was an uprising because of police brutality?
Nah, hell no, I don't give a fuck about none of that. I just want to go have fun, homie. I ain't give a fuck about none of that. None of that.
Did you even know about the what was his name? Rodney King, the Rodney King
you
tape?
followed it. That shit was everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, you followed that shit. It was everywhere.
That was like the biggest news story of that
and
era.
the night before, the little homies are like, "Hey, fool, you see what's happening? It's going down tomorrow. We ain't going to school."
Right. Because when you think about all the people looting in 2020,
it was all over the news.
There were legitimate reasons to be upset. A lot of shit going on in the news, politically, whatever. But like,
right,
probably 80% of the people there weren't thinking about that. They just wanted some shoes or whatever.
That's all I needed.
I feel it.
Yeah. I mean, that's fucked up. They beat the homie like that, you know?
Facts.
Yeah.
And that was an era where there's almost no opportunity for normal people to find out about what the experience of being a black dude getting pulled over by the cops in LA was like at that time.
You know, law was lawless, you feel me? Like you'd have crash unit hop out, you know, and be quick to assault you. At least in you know, where I was at, Venice, you know, west of La Cienega, you know, crash would pull up on a particular day. We already knew the day the crash was coming. You feel me? Crash night, and then they roll up and for sure it wasn't like, "Hey guys, y'all gotta come and go back in your house. Please, it's after hours. We don't need you." Nah, they roll up, you know, and quick to assault you. They was quick to assault you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was, you know, the intensity of how things worked in that era.
I hear that the body cameras and shit actually have like massively decreased police brutality because they just don't have the ability to get away with shit like they used to.
That shit was unheard of, you know?
Yeah.
If there was cameras, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of homies would have been unscathed by a good ass whooping or a good batoning, or they do all kind of interesting things. Pull you back from your hands, bend you all the way back, put the flashlight in your back, and have you stand there for a good 5 minutes. You feel me? Or have you on your knees on the concrete. You feel me? 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes.
Right.
Put you on the hot ass car. Put your hands on the car. The fucking car is boiling. You feel me?
And doesn't that now, if that was captured on body camera, that just sounds like the most viral fucking Twitter clip of the week of like, oh, that cop's getting dragged in front of his supervisor. He's gonna lose his job, et cetera. And so all these cops now, ideal situation, I'm not sure it's always like this, but all of them kind of like live under that fear of like getting dragged in there.
Getting told on.
Yeah. Tables have turned.
The era of the snitches.
The iPhone was a good step, but then the body cameras is like the best step. But then you hear about them not having it on and
of course,
so that kind of shit. I don't know how they police that exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, it was it was a little different. Things are different, but you get you embrace the little homies, you embrace change, and like you said, if you don't embrace change, then you're an old head that ain't catching up with the times and moving with progress. You feel me? Whether you like it or not, that's just the way it is.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, you were raised by your mom, or was your dad around as well?
Yeah. God bless my mom and my dad, hardworking immigrants that came from Jalisco.
So you were the first generation born there?
Yeah. Right. So my dad would be like, "What does this letter say?" And I'd be like, "I don't fucking know what that electric bill means," or you know what I'm saying? The traumas of being first generation, like.
So you were kind of having to help your parents with their experience because you're sort of more familiar with a lot of it as a young kid.
And who was gonna help me when the institution didn't believe in me, when they didn't love me, when the teachers didn't want to bring us to the table? I went to continuation at a young age because I felt like I was stupid. You feel me? I felt like I was stupid, and a lot of my homies thought they were stupid too because the teachers would not embrace us and love us and show us. There was a table with all the white kids, and you were comfortable being with your table, but on occasion I look over and I'd be like, man, I want to sit at that table. I want to learn. But that wasn't,
It was that divided even in the mid 80s.
It wasn't, I can't say it was, we live in a melting pot. LA's a melting pot. But if you're, a white man teaching a bunch of unruly brown kids and you see a group full of white kids, 2, 3, 4 of them, you'll be like, come here, guys. Let's sit down and learn this shit. You're not going to be like, hey, guys, what did you have breakfast this morning? Is there food at your house? Do you have your mom and dad at home that could help you? Why are you sleeping in the class? Are you tired? Did you get rest last night? Nah, you fucking fuck up. Get the fuck out of my class. You're disturbing my class. It's like embrace us, love us, homie. That's your job. You're getting paid for that shit. You feel me? I leave my kids and I'm just like, at school, like, God bless you. Because they're not in my care. They're in somebody else's care. So when you get a call, oh, hey, your son was tripping on the bus. Your son was acting, let me see. I want to see the footage. Or who saw him tripping. Or where you see that at? Like, how?
So you're immediately kind of skeptical when you hear that sort of thing.
I don't believe none of that shit. Not like I'm like, oh, my baby boy. Because I know what I got. You feel me? I got a teenager, homie. So it's like, you got to pick and choose your battles, right?
That's super interesting to me because I remember I had a friend growing up, and I forget what it was. We were in elementary school or some shit. We're in like 5th grade. And he got in a lot of trouble for something that, again, I can't remember. And I remember his mom coming into the fucking school and raising hell and defending his ass, even though whatever the scenario was, I remember him being guilty as fuck. It was so obvious to me that he did this shit. But his mom was going so hard trying to get him cleared by the school and shit. And I'm thinking, every single time in my entire life I got in trouble, my parents were on the school side. They were like 100% believing every single thing the teacher said.
You believe the institution.
Yeah. My parents,
you walk into that big old building, you see all these professionals, and you're like, wow, of course they're not lying to us. But fuck that, homie. Fuck that.
But my parents also knew what a fucking gaslighter I was and that I was fucking spinning the truth to be
Right.
whatever. You know, it's like they didn't.
Right. So, and it's the same. You know what you got at home. You can't let the school raise your kids, homie. You gotta step up and be like, hey, what's going on? Or, hey, let me see. Oh, I did my homework. Let me see. Not, I did my, all right.
Because that's what they say happened during COVID is that a lot of parents got exposed to what their kids were actually being taught in school. And a lot of them were kind of horrified by some of the weird-ass woke stuff that they were being taught in schools. And then that sort of led a lot of those parents to be showing up at the student council meetings or whatever the fuck it was. And
you got to do that.
Yeah.
You got to do that. And I know because I've done it. I've gone in front of the school board. I've gone to my mayors. I've gone to my city councilmen. I've gone to, you know what I'm saying? Sit in front of the economic development, commission. You feel me? Like things that I didn't fucking understand, homie. Prior to knowing that we're displaced, we're marginalized, we don't get the resources that everybody does. So I'm like, shit. Let me go see what the problem is. Why we can't get ours. Let me go see. So if there's a pause in music for 1 year or a pause in art, it's because I'm deciphering that. You feel me? And all my last year has been, I told you, I'm on some other shit. I'm on some other shit.
But so when you were young, were you getting in trouble a lot? Or were you like, what kind of, you were fully in the streets and shit through high school?
Because again, you're not part of the group. Now you're like, well, fuck, let's go fuck around. Fuck school. So now I'm at Palms, Shenandoah, and then go to Shenandoah, and then go to Palms, Castle Heights too for a little bit when I was baby, and then Palms, the same. All the little homies was there from 18. All the little homies from 18 was there. So it's like now you're getting exposed to that stuff. You feel me? Now you're getting exposed to that lifestyle. My parents were from Mexico, so our I didn't even speak English till I was like in Shenandoah, homie. Till I I was doing ESL in Shenandoah because our home was all Spanish, predominantly Spanish speaking. My jefa would make it her business like, okay, in the house only Spanish because you're gonna learn that outside.
Right.
In the house only Spanish. But I mean, it was a fucking experience, it's a challenge, homie. And when you don't got that love, by all means, you're not motivated no more.
Right.
You need to be lifted, motivated, pushed.
So you were a kid,
supported.
You felt more support from the street side of things, and you felt more like positive affirmation from what you had going on outside rather than what you were getting from school or anything?
Man, now you got a crowd of kids that look like you and feel like you and aspire the same things like you and move like you and entertain themselves like you and understand each other and now we feel like we got love. We feel like we got something there. You know what I'm saying? A facade, right? A facade. Yeah, maybe we connected, but because we're on the same trauma. We're all suffering the same trauma. But really what we need is opportunities, support, push, all the resources that everybody else gets. All the resources that everybody else gets.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so, homie.
No, for sure. I mean, yeah, like every kid who joins a gang at a young age and gets convinced to, be on some crazy shit is just a kid who, if they had the right resources or if they felt the right, as I say that, I don't know if I believe it because I feel like a lot of young people are just drawn to a different lifestyle, and that sometimes you'll see somebody who has the really strict parents and the parents who are very, very supportive, and they turn away from that shit to the extreme degree.
Yes.
I hung out with a kid one time, or it's like a grown man, but his dad's a billionaire.
Right.
And this kid becomes a fucking heroin addict.
But that's why it's our responsibility, homie. That's why you and me are sitting here today talking about unorthodox things instead of talking about drama and talking about rappers and fuck this nigga and fuck that nigga and I didn't like how he looked and I don't like how he acts and I don't like how he sings and I don't like where he lives, and we talking about shit that, in my opinion, is valid, right? For the kids that are soaking this up, homie,
Mm.
because they see, they see the behavior, right? Bring some guests on here, and they want to vent. They want to, you know what I'm saying? And now my youngsters think, hell yeah, let's go do some domestic violence.
Mm.
Fuck it, I don't respect you or love you. Fuck it, let's start fighting. So I feel like what we're putting out, you got to be ready to take that medicine, because we're giving it to our youngsters.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion. So I'm, trying to sway differently towards showing brown love, pushing brown people, pushing brown dollars, pushing this culture of ours. This is our culture, homie.
Mm.
Low riding, rap, graffiti. You know what I'm saying? All this shit is ours. You feel me? All this shit is ours. When we were looked down at for fucking getting blasted, when we were looked down on for rolling in a low car, when we were looked down on for having our artwork representing us and our culture. Now it's like, here, let me take it.
So are you saying you feel like Mexicans in general, like, don't always get the credit they deserve for their cultural contribution?
Come on, homie. We're the biggest market for rap, and how many of us are actually invited into the rap game to say, hey, you're our peer? We looked at as some fucking tokenized wetbacks, homie. Tell me I'm wrong. We get looked at it like, okay, that's that demographic of rap.
Mm.
That's that. But the homies are kicking it off. You feel me?
Mm.
The homies are kicking it in. They don't have to hide that they're Chicanos. I think I heard somebody say like, oh, I don't want to be Chicano rap.
Mm.
And I get it, homie. I get it. Hey, I fucking understand. But we're, tokenized Mexicans.
Because that's the same way that like the young gangbanging ass LA black rappers don't want to be seen as old school West Coast G-Funk type rappers.
Wow.
They want to.
I didn't know that.
Well, no, I can't say all of them because you do have a
Right.
doggy style. You do have, there's like
Right.
variety of rappers that
Right.
appreciate the older style, but you also have a lot of them. When you look at like some of the hottest young black rappers out of LA, you have somebody like a Draco the Ruler who really kind of like takes a lot of the old school West Coast stuff and pushes it to the side and like kind of really has like a different flow that to me was like one of the most influential. Even if you go up north a little bit to Stockton, you got the EBK J-Bos of the world. And like, I feel like, there's always going to be a desire for the younger people to separate themselves from the prior generation.
You got some instances that maybe you're not embracing it.
Mm.
You feel me? And to each their own. To each their own. Everybody knows their niche. They say, oh, fuck it, this works out for me. God bless you. Keep going. But don't homie, we made you. The West Side made you.
Mm.
Don't ever forget that. Don't forget that. Remember your roots, right? Remember what motivated you. Even if you now influenced by Japan and Florida and New York and Atlanta and Miami, remember, homie, you're still from the land.
I've been to Japan. I seen them pulling the lowriders out.
Come on.
I seen them doing their LA fucking representation shit and just been standing there like,
you seen the homies in Vietnam?
y'all are really driving around like this every day. They
see
don't
the
got a
homies in
fucking
Vietnam?
Civic at the house that they drive around. Like they're really busting those lowriders all the time. And I'm just like, these dudes don't even know that is not an everyday thing for almost anybody in LA.
Right.
But they fucking love that culture and they still rocking the full Dickie suit look. I'm like, this is insane. I can't even believe what I'm seeing.
Yeah. So, it's history repeating itself. I feel like that look, that era, that feel, that's always gonna be timeless.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That never gets 100 years from now, khakis, Cortez, and a white tee will still be an amazing fit.
Mm.
It will still be an amazing fit.
But I think the
Right.
problem is that for the younger generation, they feel like if they rock a look like that without switching it up, adding their own style to it, whatever, that to the people, it gets perceived as them basically just trying to recreate what already has happened in the 90s. And it kind of prevents you from being seen as like being the purveyor of your own style. Sometimes I think
Correct.
that's the reason why the younger rappers, because all right, think about it. If I pull up with an 8-ball jacket and a flat top, obviously I don't really have the hair for a flat top, but if I did, what's people gonna say? They're gonna say, "Oh, you're trying to look like fucking Bobby Brown. You're trying to look like
Right.
some old school shit." Whereas like the younger generation always trying to separate themselves and create their own thing and represent something that can separate themselves from like their fathers.
Right. But look, like for instance, look at the little homie.
He came to mind as I was
Come
saying
on,
it.
homie.
Yeah, because he's kind of got an old school style with
Come on.
some modern references, you know?
Come on, let me come on. Let's slide that over here so they can see what we talking about here. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, homie. Like, he ain't gotta wear that plaid shirt. He ain't gotta. You know what I'm saying?
I do like that fit though, because it's like traditional
on.
but updated.
So what I'm saying is, he's not the only one, homie. He's not the only one. Rap ain't, one thing. We still got a whole genre, and even when it comes to fashion, you feel me? Like the Chicano culture is just overwhelmingly absorbed in love, but again, like it's like our hey, the homie, like, yeah, homies don't wanna, some guys are like, oh, I don't wanna be that homie guy, like, I get it, to each their own, everyone has their flavor. But what I'm saying is, that style, what we did, that thing of ours that I grew into and saw in my area and developed and was part of, that thing will be classic forever, timeless forever. You see it in Japan, you see it in Kansas, you see it in Eastern Washington, you see my son, all he wears khakis. All he wears khaki suit. Now, would I allow him to dress like that here? Probably not. Probably not, homie. Probably not. So there's also the safety issue, homie. Would you rather wear some tight little sweats, a cute little, nice little fit, go down to the garment district, you feel me, and pick up a little something and be inconspicuous, or do you want to wear a flannel and be out there? And some guys want to be out there.
Right.
Some guys don't want to be out there like that. You feel me?
Because, okay, the version of gangsters that I would see on music videos and shit, the shit that made me super fascinated with it when I was a kid, was usually like a bunch of motherfuckers dressed somewhat similarly standing on the corner.
Banging on wax.
You don't really, I had Banging on Wax when I was in 4th grade, 1994. And I remember as a kid just thinking, like, how the fuck did they get them all together to make this project,
right?
you know?
So many questions.
There's crazy lore behind that about how it all happened and
so
shit.
Many questions.
I think I watched a YouTube video about it at one point. But, that even of itself don't really happen. Like, I of all the different neighborhoods I've been to around L.A., unless it was a music video or we're filming a vlog or something, you're not seeing everybody outside repping their shit at the same time, right? You know that, Ashtray? Oh, yeah, we got it, Ashtray. Oh, I'm cool, thank you. But yeah, I mean, part of that is people just not really being outside like they used to. Everybody's in the crib.
It's a lot of factors.
And part of it's the cops. It's just like,
Come on. It's a lot of factors. But if you can get unscathed and represent the culture, by all means.
Right.
Yeah, my son is. But it's not, I don't tell him like, oh, like, I don't know. It's just his preference. Chucks, Cortez, I bring him back some Cortez and take him back, Lakers, whatever, like, and that's just his preference. And I don't mind it because I got him somewhere where I ain't got to worry about someone trying to kill him because he identifies with his culture, because he identifies with the love I have for the area, the love I have for where we come from and all that. You feel me? That's why I feel like also, yeah, brown love is important to me, homie. I can't see it. I can't. It's like, I push like, okay, let's be better in the hood. Let's be good people. Let's love each other. Man, but fuck them motherfuckers over there. It's like so hard, homie, to keep an open mind because so many homies have been hindered by this gang shit. That, yeah, homie, like, touch mine, I'm gonna touch yours. And after all this drama, you're like, no way I could fuck with you. There's no fucking way. But the only ones that are hurting are our kids, homie. Look at our kids, homie. Like that fentanyl shit, the gangbang shit, kids getting shot now. Like, I just told you about a story, some kid getting shot that I saw in the news in over there in Seattle.
Yeah, like a baby.
A baby.
Terrible.
My nephew, homie. My nephew just got blasted last year in the valley. Shot in the chest, homie.
I'm
2
so
years
sorry to hear
old,
that,
my
man.
boy. 2 years old.
What the fuck?
You feel me? So that shit it's still it still touches home. You feel me? Like, even though you're trying to navigate a certain way, that shit still touches home. So what do you do in those instances? Go, oh yeah, man. Hey, little bro, because that's my brother's son. Hey, little bro, let's go. Come on, homie. Come on. You feel me? Because that's how I feel, bro. That's how I felt. That's how it feels when your loved ones are touched. You feel me? You feel awful. You feel like you need to go do your due diligence to go. You feel me?
Even though you know in the long run, the best thing for your people is to somehow get past this, even though we all look at that as the most difficult to obtain objective possible for any grouping of people in any city that has a history of bloodshed.
You know? And it's like you gotta pick and choose your battles. I think for me though, this is me. I'm not, you know, I don't know. Like, I'm not telling you, hey, you do it like this or you do it like that. I'm just telling you like my experience and how hindered I was when I was a kid, you know, ADHD. You couldn't fucking, like, the shit wouldn't stick, and, you know, like, you needed that extra support, and woo, and, you know, at the end of the day, you just like, man, I'm stupid, homie. But that's not the case, homie. That's not the case. You get nurtured, you get pushed in the right direction, man. You know, a lot of this gang stuff is like leadership, you feel me? You get put in leadership positions, and imagine you get, you know, someone toss you a company, you feel me? Toss you a business, and you use those leadership skills to push your area, lift your family, buy a house. No one teaches us how to buy a fucking house. No one tells us about credit, homie. No one puts us on shit is so fucked up, homie, like cost-wise and you know?
Yeah, because the dream that our parents had of owning a home was infinitely more realistic than the goal of our kids owning a home. In particular in a place like LA where you're gonna spend $1 million on a house in most parts of LA and shit, and it's just so like for our parents would tell us stories. Oh, I had a summer job, and at the end of the summer, I was able to buy a car. And then kids listen to that, and they're doing the math in their head, and they're like,
"There's no fucking
at the
way."
end of the a car from working for 3 months, like what the fuck? Like, and that's not to say anything about the fact that you guys spend a couple $1,000 a month rent in most parts of LA and shit. And that a lot of the rents have literally like doubled in the last 4 years. It's like, you know, it just seems so much more difficult to exist as a person, especially a young person. How the fuck you gonna move out right after high school?
Nah, it's
and
tough.
do what?
It's
like,
tough. I asked my pops the other day, I go, how the fuck you buy a house? I don't think he even told me how you ever did that. How, like, you know, like what was the process for you during that time? How'd you do that? And what, he's like, forget it.
My parents bought a house in their late 20s, and my mom was a librarian, and my dad worked at a construction company. And I think about that, and I'm like,
boom,
doesn't sound like enough income to buy a house these days, especially not out here.
You know, a little fraud on the side.
Well,
you know.
Oh, you talking about my pops?
No.
No, my dad had a fraud case. That's why it's funny. I thought you were mail fraud. Yeah.
Hey,
it happens. It happens.
I don't do research. I just dive in, homie. I didn't do no research.
No, because people always try to bring it up, and they're always like, "So your dad was a scumbag criminal, huh?" And I'm like, "Not really. He just got busted one time, dude."
Sheesh. So, you know, that's survival in LA. He just had to do what he had to do.
Well, I'm from the East Coast, but yeah, for
you
sure.
know, or survival in the you know in the US. You gotta do what you gotta do.
So you've like, all right. I'm just trying to imagine how you joining a gang or getting involved in that world might have been like at that time versus what it's like for a young person these days. Was it just like where you're from, that's where you're from? Or was it like you had to make a choice at some point?
I mean, you know, you always got choices. You always got choices. Unfortunately, I picked a choice that was gonna, you know, take me in a direction that I don't know. I was like, you know, raised by immigrant parents, like, you know, like, even though I was Chicano, all-American kid, you know, burgers and tacos and pizza and, you know, and Alf and
Alf.
Growing Pains and, you know
they
what
don't
I'm
even
saying?
know about
like,
Alf. Some of them might know, but.
You know, like, so you don't be like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna be a gangbanger. Like, no, homie, like, my dad would drop me off at the corner from where we lived at in the hood, and and the homies would be there. But he was never like, fuck no, you not hang. He was like, oh, that's Osvaldo, and like I know his parents. We go drink down here in Venice on Lincoln at Casablanca. It was Casablanca. I think is still there. And a little restaurant, or club, or whatever, and they go sit there. And so it's like it was a community. So you didn't look down on the morros, Of course, you knew a little homie was up to no good. Yeah, you wanted to prohibit them from having contact with your son, it's to not, spoil the boy, whatever, but, turn them on to gang shit or what. But really, it was everyone knew each other. It wasn't uncommon. Yeah, he would ask, why are you dressing like that? Why are you this? Why are you that? At that point, it's like, there's nothing you could do. It's in motion.
But it was a different experience than the way that it would have been if your kids started to go in that direction.
Boy,
because you
your
understand.
ass.
You get it.
I'll
To your
beat
dad,
your
this
ass.
is kind of foreign. Yeah.
I'll beat your neck.
The neck instead of the ass?
I'll beat your neck.
Give him that neck slap.
Quick. No, you just more keen. That's why, homie, it's important for homies like us to go out there and preach the good word. And the good word is to lift your community. In my opinion, homie. Urban music, rap, that's always gonna be it. It tells our story. It's gritty. It's what it is.
It's
It
just crazy
defines us.
because
It's an art.
I could share the music that I love with my kid one day, but what's the other message that she gonna get? Percocets are cool. Gangbanging is cool.
You feel me?
Casual sex is cool. Bitches
me?
ain't shit. All this shit. So it's like that.
It's the culture we're pushing, homie. So if you could do a little bit of that, yeah, okay, it's entertaining. But really, say no to drugs. Really, stay off of pills. Really, stay away from fucking sniffing whatever the fuck is, is in that coke or whatever's in that shit you sniffing. Like, homie, use it to do something great. But again, that's me. That's what I'm on. Create a nonprofit. In this last year to work with kids, when I go try and do it, they're like, fuck no, So I'm like, what would we work with nonprofits. We work with, whoa. And I go, shit, I'll be back. So I created a nonprofit, Locos, leading our children off streets. And to me, that's the loco I want to be.
Right.
That's the loco I'm going to be. I'm a West Side loco, but I want to be the loco that leads my kids off of the streets, that can tell you, hey, come into the studio with me. Come tattoo with me. Come paint a mural with me in France. Come to Japan with me. Let's paint. Let's go to Philly to the convention. Let's go to Jersey and I got some customers. Come, let's go. And line up yours because you've been working hard and your talent is amazing. And now it's time for you to lock these appointments and whoop. You got to expose the game to the little homies. Oh, no.
So tattoos were your first foray into art, or were you doing graffiti and shit when you were
I
younger?
was blasting all the homies up.
Okay. At what age you start doing all that?
Maybe around the same time that the administrator didn't love us.
Oh, so in your
in
teens?
high school, yeah.
In high school, you started tattooing?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Who even put you on the game?
Myself, gang members. I mean, I had a dude from Venice, Shorty from Venice, sold me a little homemade machine.
Because it was a very different era for tattoos at that time. It's not like there's a fucking tattoo shop on every corner.
Motherfucker.
It was like illegal in a lot of parts of the country, right?
Yeah, it was very taboo. It was like, I think even like if you got busted with like a tattoo kit or like patterns with gang shit on it, like that was I don't know, it was like a charge, or it was very underground. You feel me?
And nobody really had tattoos unless you were on some questionable
nobody.
shit. Yeah.
No way. I remember getting my neck blasted and even had a homie was like, oh no, you fucked it.
Your whole life's over. Yeah.
A homie,
Even in the early 2000s, for me, like seeing someone with a neck tattoo was shocking. You just
Yeah.
assumed that they were up to no good, or maybe
Right.
maybe they were a tattoo artist, or they were
Maybe.
in a band or some shit. But for the most part, like,
And then, you know,
I don't know. That's a little sketchy. Yeah.
you know, gang members are, you know, it's like, let me identify. That's the first tool to identify.
Mm.
It's like, let me see where you from, homie. I ain't got to ask you,
Yeah.
you know? I ain't got to ask you.
That's what the cops do when they pull you over. They want to see the tattoos so they could figure out where you're from, and that's how they know you're not lying.
All the time. You know what they do. They're going to do whatever they can to crack you, you know? Everything they could use against you, they're going to do it. So, yeah, by all means.
So the tattooing thing, though, did you know you had artistic talent before that, or is that kind of where
I
you
was a
discovered
little
it?
shitty. I love because of my deficiency of not being able to learn and absorb the material, I would sketch. I would sketch in the class. And I'd sit there and I'd draw and I'd doodle and I'd sketch. And then home, it was a passion for me. And then, you know, I was excited about collecting tools, and I got into graffiti at a very, very young age.
Right.
So I was out here before this was all the way it is. I come out here and see Hex at the graffiti shop.
Hex.
Yeah.
He was up at the time?
Oh, homie, fucking legend, my boy.
Okay.
Fucking legend. Hell yeah. He did the mural for Ice Cube at the Motor Yard.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we're talking legendary writer shit, you know?
For sure.
Yeah. You know, they had probably one of the only, world's only graffiti shop. And that whole
Out
block,
here at that time.
out here,
That must have been kind of controversial, huh?
it was, because the whole place was blasted.
Because the attitude on graffiti is so different now. It's like the cops sort of just let it go to a certain
Wow.
extent. They're not really like pursuing that shit. I forget, it was on the news or something that they like dropped the budget for like a certain type of policing related to graffiti. They just kind of like turn a blind eye unless they catch you in the act, which is so different than the 90s where they were really putting cases together on people and shit.
Correct. Chaka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I interviewed MTA, who got the first ever, was it a RICO or some shit, like for that one gigantic fucking piece that they did. You know what I'm talking about? By the airport or whatever. There was like a ditch that they did like the biggest MTA piece ever.
Sick.
And they got a fucking huge federal case for that.
What?
Well, I don't know if it was federal. I forget. It's been a long time
See,
since
now
I
you
interviewed him.
spreading rumors.
Yeah. No, I interviewed him. People can go verify the details on the interview I did. It was
Okay.
actually insane, them telling me about it. Because it's like,
Yeah.
they
See,
got the
that's
kind of
whack, homie.
charges that you normally only hear about street gangs getting.
Self-expression,
Yeah.
notoriety, love, recognition. That's all. That's all we want. You feel me? You know, supported. That's it. Graffiti just.
Unlike graffiti, you start making money from the tattoo shit early on. It's like a hustle, right? As opposed to graffiti, where it's...
Yeah, the tattooing was my way to get a white tea and some weed. You know what I mean? Some drink, some dope. You
Right.
know? Go fuck around. That was that. You know. But I was persistent with that. You know. If I want to have shit, little shit, whatever, I had to do that. And then when I came across the music stuff, 2000, 2004, 5, something like that, then I just left the machine alone. But I would go to like different barrios and tattoo homies in Santa Monica, homies in Compton. I go to Compton and tattoo homies in Compton. Different barrios. Fools would come to my pad. I had a little spot in Inglewood, well-known house. Everybody know, oh, that's a tattoo guy from West Side Locals. That's the tattoo guy.
Really?
And, you know, everybody put Bloods will pull up. Either IFGs will pull up or what, you know. I had a vast variety of clients, but it was all hood cats. It was only hood cats.
Was it kind of unique at this time to be a dude that was tattooing out of the crib like that because there were just so many less people doing it? Or
it was not as saturated.
because you probably never would you have been
saturated.
Would you have been interacting with Bloods and like other people from other walks of life like that as much if it wasn't for the tattoo thing?
I mean, I didn't. My hood didn't. We didn't have no funk with them.
Okay.
And I stayed right there. I stayed in Inglewood. I stayed off of Cedar and Centinela. I got shot up right there. I ended up getting shot up.
At what age?
I don't know, 19, 20, something like that.
Oh, really?
21, something like that.
You were just hanging out. You were just doing some
At
regular
my pad,
shit.
I was living by myself already, where I was tattooing out of.
And you're
out of
just
that
out in
pad.
front.
No, I was. I walked across the street to right across Centinela. There was a liquor store there, and I went to go get a pisto. And I think my kid's mom was making dinner, and she's like, "Get some bread or something like that." I don't know what the fuck. So I grab a pisto and I grab the other thing she asked me to grab. And the homie that was at the register, he's like, hey, you gotta go, homie. You gotta fucking go, fool. Them fools from Inglewood are here. You know? And I was so brazen that I was like, well, fuck it, let me go get something else. I think I forgot something. And he was like, you know?
Your pride made you want to stick around to.
Now I was gonna stick around. And yeah, sure enough, like 4 or 5 carloads pull up. And as I'm walking out, hey, homie, where you from? Where you from? You know where you at? 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 And of course they trying to make me say Inglewood. You feel me? I didn't say nothing. Lokes, gang. I'm from the Lokes. And I remember having my pistol, and there was like a little ass kid, like 11 years old. Where's he from? Where's he from? Where's he from? Bouncing and dancing around me. Where's he from? Where's he from?
What the fuck?
While old motherfuckers there, young motherfuckers there, all kind of motherfuckers there.
And these are black dudes or Mexican
no,
dudes?
Raza.
Okay.
Raza. In Wood 13.
Got it.
And so I did put my pistol, go across the street real quick, And at that point, I'm thinking like, I'm either get cracked in the head, they're gonna, something. But I thought, but I'm gone, right? I'm trucking. They banged on me. I banged it back. I didn't say what they wanted me to say, and I kept it pushing, So I grabbed my brew but as soon as I crossed the street to get into the block, I went behind the palm tree, quick. I'm like, because what was gonna happen was they were gonna follow me. You feel me? Definitely, they were gonna follow me.
You knew how this was going down, yeah.
And they followed me. Right? I stood there for a couple minutes, and I go, fuck it, we're clear. And I start walking. I was like, off of the boulevard, it's like 2, 3, 4 houses there. The duplex is right there. So I walk, and I'm looking over to see if there was any lights. No lights, everything clear. As I get to the door, there was no lights because the Ramflas had the lights off. So they coming into the block with their lights off. Once I get to the door and I look over, yeah, they had rolled by and seen exactly where I went into.
Oh shit.
So later on that night, here, knock on the door, boom, 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 boom.
And for the record, these are all dudes you never seen before? It's just solely... Oh, okay. So there's like a little bit of buildup? Yeah.
Well, Inglewood at the time was economically, if you still wanted to stay in the west side without getting gouged,
okay,
you had to go to Inglewood. You know what I'm saying? So there was different barrios in Inglewood that didn't necessarily function, you know what I'm saying? But you had to be there because it's what you could afford and still be in the west side.
Okay.
Right? So that was my story. It was like I was kind of there, but
right,
without going. So I jump into the pad, and I remember she's cooking, and I'm cracking this 40, and 2020's on. Smoking his joint, and the door knocks, boom, 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 and hey, homie, hey, come here. And I go, oh, yeah, hold up. And I was like, I don't know who that is at all. So as I get up to go I had a little sawed off, go up to go get the sawed off in my room. Boom, I hear the door break open, a little screen door, and it was dark. The light wasn't on outside, but you could see him into the pad because it was summer, the screen was closed and no light outside. You can't see out there, so all I could see was like a figure with a hoodie. Yeah, hold on, homie. Hey, homie, Kyle, come here, homie. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna get my sweater. I'll be right there. I run into the cuarto to get the trueno. Boom, you hear the door. You hear my kid's mom screaming. She's holding my daughter. You hear her screaming. And I thought, fuck, all these motherfuckers are in my fucking house.
So a bunch of dudes ran up in there.
That's what I thought.
Oh.
To my mind, that's what immediately came to mind. Everyone is inside my house. Now, mind you, I don't know, right? It's just coincidental that all of this happens at the same time. You know? Coincidental, you know? Jammed up by the homies, and then this happens, you know? So, not to say that that's what happened, like who that came from or whatever, but that's what happened that night.
Right.
Right? That's how things developed that night. So I'm in the closet, right? At this point, I'm in the closet getting the thing, and he's already in the room. So by the time I turn around, he got a rag on his face. He got a hoodie on low. He got his hoodie on, and I look, and yeah, he's holding a shotgun too.
Wow.
And I'm halfway inside the closet, grabbing the trueno, as I'm looking, and he sprays me right then and there. Boom. Right? As he's partially in the door, and I'm partially in the closet. And he runs out, and I casually walk out. I could hear my kid's mom screaming more.
Uh-huh.
She's screaming like hell, right? And when I walk out, her face changed. She was in distress, and she smiled like she couldn't believe I was still standing there. But when she looked at my stomach,
that's where he shot you?
Her face changed again.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, there it is.
Her face changed again. You feel me? It changed again.
And so
and she went into distress, and I just couldn't believe that I got blasted in my stomach. And I'm walking out trying to keep my composure, right? And I'm just looking at my little homie lived in the house right next door. And he runs out. He runs out with the trueno. And by then I'm already in the porch, and I'm sitting there like kind of laid back a little bit. And I'm in and out, and he's like, where'd they go? Where'd he go? I don't know. That way, I don't know. And
you got over revenge in exchange for I need to get to the fucking hospital or something like right away, or were you still focused on like, no, I'm gonna go blast these dudes?
Nah, like the time that had passed,
they were probably
he was
gone.
not gonna be successful in finding nobody.
Right.
So why send them on a goose chase?
But
he
you
went
like,
that way. They
are
went
you
that
pouring
way.
blood and shit?
Nah.
It's not that bad.
No, it was bad, but it wasn't. It was weird. It was all cooked up and black, and because it was so close.
Oh, wow.
You feel me? So, big gaping hole. And then I go to MLK, Martin Luther King, Killer King, the famous Killer King.
Why do they call it that?
Because a lot of gang members never survived the surgeries and trips to the ER there.
You think that's partially because the hospital doesn't care?
Hospital they didn't give a fuck. When I got there, I was sitting there for 4 hours before they even fuck with me.
Shut the
4
fuck
fucking
up.
hours.
4 hours in the emergency room?
So when you see a movie where they say, let's shoot him in the gut, a cowboy movie, and they say, let's shoot him in the gut and leave him to die, that's because the motherfucker ain't gonna die right away. He's gonna sit there and it's gonna be a while.
What the fuck? Do you think that still could happen now? You show up at the hospital and make you wait 4 hours after a gunshot wound?
There was several guys with abdomen shots that night.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You'd think they'd at least like be able to send you somewhere else or something.
Nah, I was stuck there.
Wow.
And I was tripping, and I'm cussing and yelling. We going back and forth, and you could tell, and even till this day, you have to advocate at the hospital. You have to advocate. You gotta be like,
you can't just sit there.
Nah, we just had a birth this last year. My little girl, God bless. We had a little girl, and she almost didn't make it, homie. And the attitude at the hospital was like we only following protocol.
Really?
We're following protocol, and if you don't feel like it works out for you, then. And that's not the case. Homie, you got to be diligent with serving that person that's going through a very unique and memorable and important moment It's not like, and look it up, homie. Brown people die giving birth more than white people.
I heard that, yeah.
Why? It ain't because of some genetic shit, homie. It's because we're not served properly.
That's crazy because, like, when my kid was born in Beverly Hills at the hospital, I walked away from it being, like, unbelievably impressed by how professional all the doctors and nurses were and shit. And I can't even imagine how shitty it would have felt to have walked away from that feeling like they didn't care as much as I did.
Bro, they trying to give my daughter morphine as soon as she was born because I can't remember what it's called. But she had a hard time coming out. They should have done a C-section.
Right.
They didn't do that. So when she came out, she was limp. I thought, fuck, they gave my daughter like that. And I couldn't believe it, homie. They put her in a box and they, like, you know, with for kids, acrylic box, and they're moving, you know, to treat her, whatever. And I can't believe that we didn't have a normal, you know, situation. So I'm flying to Children's Hospital in Seattle, and right away it's like we have to give her morphine.
Oh, this is Seattle, the story that you're telling right now.
Right now,
this is
because
only a
it
couple
just
years
recently
ago.
happened.
Oh,
But it's happened before to my other kids. You feel me?
wow.
Where I gotta like, and you gotta ask questions. I mean, you don't know what's being administered. Ask, what is that? You got the right. Hey, what is that? What are you doing? Oh, I'm gonna give them nah, or oh, okay. Research that, you know. You always gotta advocate at birth. If you don't, you're getting. I told you earlier. Less resources than everybody else. Less love than everybody else, and that's prevalent, homie. That's real. That's facts. So, you know, when you see this and you start thinking, well, I don't want my kids to go through this. I don't want my son to go through this. Let me try and do a little better in my area. Let me promote something better for my, you know, that's why I think you know, like, brown love is important to me. That's all I could say. I think it's crucial because I know what it's like to fall under those cracks. I know what it's like to not be served right. You feel me?
Do you feel like there's a lot of unity in the Mexican or brown community? Or, like, do you feel like that's kind of something that the community still struggles with? Because sometimes it does feel like there's a lot of unity. But I can imagine there's a lot of situations where it doesn't feel like that.
There is. I feel like we got, you know, a lot of strong connections through business, through art, through food, through, you know, through a lot of interesting things. But there's always going to be that divide. There's always going to be, you know the saying, oh, it be your own people.
Right.
You know, it be your own people. It's like, don't get proactive with me, homie. Don't get proactive with me. Support me, push me, love me. But sometimes our trauma, it comes back to our trauma. You know, oh no, let me block on this fool because I ain't gonna get that. So let me, hold on. Wait, let's think this clear. Why would I share with him if I never had shit? Fuck that. But the idea is share. God will favor you, homie. God will bless you. You feel me? He'll bless you. Be grateful. You know, it's only borrowed here.
Just to wrap up the other story, how long were you in the hospital, or like how long did it take you to get to the hospital?
Man, I was like Tupac. I was in for a few days and then I was gone.
Really?
I didn't trust it.
Wow.
I left unprepared. I left pulling shit off of me. I left without seeing what was what. I only came back to remove the staples. But I told him for my safety, I just was not going to be there. I didn't feel the need to stay there as long as they wanted me to.
You kept living in that house?
My homeboy took over the lease.
Really?
Locals, yeah.
And so
my homeboy took over the lease. We never left.
That was the end of that situation? Or like did you even really know who the guys were and shit?
No.
Really?
No.
What the fuck?
And it wasn't like it started up like funk, like because there, you know, like I've seen different guys, and I've, you know, and I never feel like, oh man, like I can't, you know, I forgive the motherfucker that did it. Actually, God bless him. I don't know what happened. I don't know who it was. Nothing, but I don't, you know, it's part of the game.
A lot of times now it feels like everybody knows who shot somebody right away. It wasn't really. It wasn't like that as much now.
Because it's on phone.
I like yeah, because even if it's not like really out there, it's like a lot of times there'll be a little breadcrumbs.
I've heard things, you know, like some homies like, oh yeah, we know, hey, that homie got poked in prison, or, you know, like I've heard things, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy, yeah. Oh, we know who did it, and he got here. Like I hear things that I don't give a fuck, you know, like, and it's all bullshit. I don't know factually, you know. I don't know factually, but
I've been there where somebody I didn't like. Somebody told me like, "Yo, this happened to them behind bars," and I'm just like, "Ooh, hell yeah!" But also like bummed out that I know I'm not gonna probably see a video of it or anything because you know.
Right. It came out a little too late, you know.
Yeah.
When I heard, or when I knew, it was like, you know. And at this point in my life, that's a long time, many moons ago.
100%.
I've been shot at several, you know, many times. Hit that particular time. I've been shot at plenty of times, but that you know, like, you know, you live and learn, homie. You live and learn.
100%.
End up be going testing some fools in their own hood. You know what I'm saying? Or let me be here and see what, like, that's stupid. You feel me? That's stupid. You know. But you gotta do that when you're young. You represent when you're young.
How did your life change as a result of getting sprayed up that one time?
Man, we didn't learn. It wasn't like, oh fuck, I need to do something different.
Right, that's just life at that time.
I was still hanging out. I remember hanging out with the homies from Santa Monica, and the homie was like, "Come, fool, we're gonna kick it at the graveyard right there in Santa Monica, by their area." And I go, "Yeah, Simon." I had staples in my fucking stomach still, and I remember I had a little deuce, and I had it in my shoe.
Right here, deuce.
Hello. So I had the atom up in here, right? And we're in the posted in the graveyard in Santa Monica.
That was just a regular place to chill at that time.
Like fresh out of the hospital, hanging out with the, you know.
Right.
I had a good rapport with one of the homies from Waguito from Santa Monica came to visit me. Brought me magazines and shit. At the
Good
hospital.
old days when your phone wasn't enough.
Nah, brought me magazines and shit, like, and he was shot up. We used to kind of funk, and then one day my little homie says, "Hey, I got a homie I want to introduce you," and they pull him out of the car, and they gotta lift him up in the wheelchair to bring him in the pad, and I had known the homie to not be in the wheelchair. I had seen him, and we wanted funk with each other. He'd roll in a big ass Cadillac, a gangster ass Cadillac, and he was like up to no good. Yeah, it's Santa Monica on his neck. As a kid, you know, and at that time, again, we're talking about visible tattoos, and so when I saw him, automatically we hit it off, because the homie brought him to my house, and then I felt some type of way. You feel me? Seeing him in a different light. When I had saw him before, he was, you know, but I think he had got in a shooting in at the beach or something, got shot in the shoulder, and it left him paralyzed. Good homie. Till this day, we still communicate. He's in the low riding scene, and really good camarada. You know, salute the homie. And
so when you look back at that time period in your life, were you living like really reckless? And was it kind of like this weird balance because you want to get more serious about the tattoo shit, but then at the same time you're in the streets?
That boy, I had kids. I was a kid having kids.
Right.
So I had to be responsible for the kids, you know. So I had to have things in the house. I had to provide, you feel me? I probably didn't do that great. You feel me? I probably was not the best at all those things at the time, you know. I was only a young father, and my counterpart was not that, you know, willing to invest in my progress. She was just as traumatized as I was. She had suffered, you know, sexual abuse at a young age, and her parents migrated and brought her from Mexico, and they lived in OC, and so that sparked the weird chemistry. You feel me? Traumatized people, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
What was the point where you felt like you really started to take your life more serious, to get more serious about building something for yourself?
I think the music was amazing for me. The music
And
saved me.
what year you start to get more
Like
into that?
2004,
Oh, so
2003,
much later, okay.
2004, something like
You're
that.
like
a few
30
years
at that
later,
point? Okay.
And we, you know, now at this point we're like ran into some homie that knew a homie that took us to a studio that knew a producer, and that kind of sparked the interest. The guy that I knew, he was a poppin' rapper, and at the time,
Not somebody people know now, or?
coming out of prison, my first introduction to Chicano music was in prison. So coming out of prison, you know, we go to it was Raza Club. We had club. I programmed to get out of the cell and go do some on a Thursday, right? Do this club and go get out of my cell to go hang out with this club in, you know, the Native Club, and I was part of a couple different things to program and to make my time go. I draw and I do my thing and whatever. And
Right.
and at Raza Club, that's when I got introduced to Conejo, MB Riders, and a bunch of this new genre that, I mean, I'll listen to Compton's Most Wanted, Banging on Wax, you feel me, Spice One, Too Short, you know? That was, you know, I grew up listening to K-Day, homie. People would ask me, what state, you know, back in the day it was like, what's better, FM or AM? You know, AM was shitty.
Right.
But I always say AM was better because they play Eazy-E, EPMD, K-Day played all that shit.
K-Day, when I first moved here, I could not fucking believe that there was a radio station that played classic hip-hop out here. Because in New York, that didn't exist. In Boston, that didn't exist. Out here, the fact that that's able to, like, sustain its own station.
Right.
Now, I would never even fucking think to put the radio on. But when I moved here, like, 2010, I couldn't believe it. And I still see people say that on Twitter from time to time. Like, people from L.A. don't realize how lucky they are to have a station like K-Day.
Bro, that was the most amazing thing, to hear these interesting sounds, homie, out of that AM radio, right? Out of these little boom boxes. It was like the most incredible thing. It was a whole new, well, you embraced it, you loved it, you know, but it wasn't just West, you know. It was hip hop also from the East Coast. They incorporate, you know, a couple
You guys were
different things.
interested in all that shit as well. East Coast shit. Everything in hip-hop, you were just fascinated
everything
by?
hip-hop. De La Soul, Busta Rhymes when he was, you know, when he was the Leaders of the New School. What was that?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean, I could go on and on.
Yeah.
That was the influence. And at the time, you know, that wasn't that popular. Rap wasn't like mainstream. It was questionable music that wasn't gonna go nowhere.
Did that bridge the gap, though, between blacks and Hispanics in L.A. from your perspective? Like, the music kind of brought people closer together?
I think so. I think so. Yeah, I think
You
so.
got like a shared language at a certain point.
For real, we shared the common pains. You know, we related to it, and we weren't. You know, we're not from Mexico, so I don't know nothing about Mexico. I'm not like, you know, exposing that part of the culture as a youngster. I'm absorbing what the calles got for me, what the demographic is showing me. You feel me?
For sure. Did you so okay, like, did you feel represented at all on a mainstream level, or in turn, because I've had this conversation on the podcast before, how it's been almost no Hispanic artists that have been able to become like true superstars, like pop stars, in terms of like Hispanic hip hop artists.
I mean,
It feels like we're closer now to that, but it felt like it kind of took a while.
I mean, you had Mellow Mayonnaise, you had Kid Frost. Those were impactful things, you know?
Right.
And then that's when we had to take charge.
How'd you feel about Cypress Hill at that time?
Cypress Hill,
Because for sure that was shit that I was listening to when I was, 3rd grade, 4th grade. I didn't even know about weed until I started listening to that shit. It sounded magical.
Like when you hear it, you're like, yeah. For me particularly, I didn't have any Cypress Hill albums. I was one of those rare guys that didn't go collect it. But, you'd hear, and you still sing them, Insane in the Membrane and, all the classics. Of course, their impact in the culture is extremely prevalent, the big homies.
Right.
You know what I mean? Definitely. So, yeah, you feel a sense of connection. You feel a sense of like, hell yeah, because we're the biggest at the time. We're like, feel like, I don't know, now at the time, we're the biggest consumers. Raza is, the Chicano demographic. If, I remember going to House of Blues with my homeboys, and we go out, the set, we show up and go see DJ Quick. And you go in there, and there's a gang of Chicanos in there, a gang of other gang members. Yeah, there was, African-American crowd and, the genre, the demographic, but you could see that it was prevalent, that Raza would go and support a lot of,
Even now, I was just at Rolling Loud. That's probably the number one demographic racially, if you were to break it down.
So it's kind of interesting because, like, the door's slightly open, right? The door's slightly open, but I feel like, well, yeah, that's our market. Let's open it a little bit, or else, we looking weird not opening the doors. But literally, I don't think the doors are wide open for us. I mean, we being we the biggest consumers, the biggest supporters, the biggest lovers of the genre, you know what I'm saying? To not get, hey, we salute y'all. Thank you for, man, I bought all this because of y'all. I did all this because of y'all. Where's the love, homies? You feel me? Where's the love for your Chicano, your Mexican-American demographic that's born here? Americans, homie. Don't tokenize us by saying we're not from here. Because we're Mexican, we're Mexican. You feel me? It's like, man, embrace the little homies that are rapping. Embrace the ones that are coming in and push them in the, not, oh, man, they're stepping in our game or whatever the case might be, if it's the case. But considering that the doors ain't completely wide open for the homies, and it looks like, it looks like we still need ours, We still need our section, And it's a blessing to see, guys all over the place, Latino guys kicking it off. I salute all the homies doing it. Keep doing it.
100%.
Great music, all right music, amazing music, or media, whatever the case might be. It's your art, homie. It's your thing. It's your thing. Who are we to tell you? Don't, man, follow your fucking dream. Push hard. Give it all you got, perro.
For sure. Am I missing anything in terms of your life story before the music starts to kind of take over your life? You said like 2004. Was there anything else wild that we got to cover in there before we get into the music part?
I left the tattooing alone and started focusing on that. Created a little independent label, got distribution with EMI, and my focus was really on balancing the gang shit and balancing the music shit. It was like, it was a challenge, Because in my mind, I want to lift the homies up. I want us to go travel the world like we've been, that's what we started doing. Now we going and doing tours everywhere.
But did it feel like labels or venues or potential business connects were kind of scared because of the fact that you clearly were coming from the gang lifestyle and shit like that?
Now, if you did it here, did it here in the land, well, yeah, it's a liability. You couldn't go to Quiet Canyon. You can even go and get inside looking like a homie. If you have visible tattoos and all that, or this club or that. So yeah, to book a venue, you had to do it at a small, at a small bar or, whatever, at least for what we were doing at the time. It wasn't like, oh, hey, come to the theater and we're going to pack it out,
Because I was just watching a Bozo interview, and he was saying that...
Shout out to homie Bozo.
Shout out to Bozo. I love this fucking interview. I just seen him doing Camp Capone. But
Shout out Cam Capone.
Shout out Cam
We gonna go
Capone.
see him later on today too.
so I heard, yeah, that's dope. Shout out to him. He does some good stuff. But I heard Bozo basically saying that he still deals with that. Like, he'll pull up with a bunch of homies to, a show or some shit, and even if it's like a Hispanic promoter and everything like that, that it's like a clear sense of, if you're coming into that environment, a lot of people are trying to do business. As soon as you got a bunch of dudes who are clearly from a hood or whatever, older guys pulling up to the venue, people get very on edge.
It depends where you at. Of course, in the land, we know what happens when that stuff happens. Like we know the recipe to some good desmadre, some good action. But go to Yakima.
Where's that?
In Washington, Eastern Washington. You go out there, do an event, you feel me? Like, yeah, we got the same issues. Yeah, we're hindered. Yeah, we're broken out there too. But I feel like in these places where it's not every day you're gonna have homies from out of town or homies representing a sector that you have a fondness, right, for, then more than likely you go to New York, you go to New Jersey, you go to these places, and yeah, you're gonna run the same risk because you're in that environment. But I think the danger rate might be a little lower. You feel me? Like now you're out of your area. Now you're being hosted. You're being supported in your endeavors. You're being pushed. You're being promoted. You're being welcomed. You know what I mean? Unless you that guy that's attracting things that's But I think out of the city is where we're able to flourish. You know what I'm saying? If you hustled that way.
I mean, it's like that in a lot of cities where Chicago has the biggest drill scene, and then none of those artists have ever pretty much performed in Chicago because the cops are just all over it. Like, any artist that's fully like talking about crazy gangbanging shit out there, the cops are on it. Same shit in New York. None of the New York drill artists have pretty much performed in New York, But then those same artists will have a show in Jersey, show in Connecticut, show in wherever. Like, their fans have to go out of state pretty much to fuck with them because, I mean, at the very least in New Jersey, you don't have your fucking ops next door ready to pull up to the show. The promoters and everybody are understandably scared of it, and then the cops are trying to shut it down.
Yeah. That's like, you're going to get hate where you're from, unfortunately. That's the sad part, that where you're from, you're going to get hated the most. They're going to hate you. They're going to hate you for following your dreams. They're going to hate you for succeeding. They're going to hate you for building. They're going to hate you for expanding, flourishing, from doing great things. They're going to see you living, and they're going to be like, you're not relatable to us no more. You're not part of the struggle no more. You're not one of us no more. You feel me? And if you ain't got a thick skin for shit like that, you better go get a fucking day job. Go to the market. Go do something else. You feel me? Go do construct. Go do something. Because this ain't it. You get a lot of hate from putting yourself out there. I'm the epitome of that, homie.
How so?
A lot of the stigma and a lot of the history that we have in the music and the interactions have been predominantly negative because we up against the wall, pushing back on, again, traumatized individuals that that gatekeep or don't want to share or block or don't want to support or down talking on you or, and when you new in the game and you're trying to navigate and do your best and you're like, what? He said, what about us? Wow. Or what? He didn't want us here? Or you pull up to a shop and you like you do your own street teaming, your own marketing, you're pushing music and you see all your shit ripped down. You feel me? And it's only another homie that does the same shit you do. You feel me? Or it's someone, like. So it's just traumatized people, and
how are you? What were the primary ways that you were monetizing at that time? Though, was it all about selling CDs out the trunk and shit?
Straight out the trunk.
Mm.
Straight out the trunk. No internet to go viral on, no nothing. It was all your hustle. And I'd go everywhere. I'd go straight up to the Bay, to the Oakland Swami, homie.
Really?
Fuck yeah. Mob up in there with the homies. And the homies would be like, you know what you're doing. It wasn't like, oh, no, we're not going there. Because I heard a lot of motherfuckers would be like, Oakland Swami, no thank you. I'm not taking my music up there.
Mm.
We don't belong up there. I'm making my business to rock, mob up in that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
With a homie, with a, you know, let's go. But it wasn't like, oh, nah. We had to do it, homie. So we go in there and, you know, I'd have a variety of CDs. I meet up with this rapper. Hey, fool, I just dropped this. Let's swap some CDs. I got you.
So even at that time, was it like a big fucking deal for you to be from down south and to be going up north and trying to make money?
Fuck yeah.
You felt like you were immediately going to be faced with opposition wherever you went?
Of course.
Mm.
That was always the attitude. You're not welcome. You know? That's just that's the stigma. You know, you're not welcome. So you know already. I never had no interaction. I never done nothing to make them hate me. I never, you know, I hadn't been in that environment to create that. To create that, you feel me?
But did you feel like there was a chance that, you know, somebody would just know you were from down south and pull up and try to have problems with you?
Yeah, but I never would think like that. I never wanted to think like that. You
Right.
know? It was like if I start thinking like that, then I'm like in fear of getting things done. I don't want to be in fear. I had to get it done.
Mm.
So we go out there, you know, pull up in Fresno and sell CDs or, you know, wherever we needed to and go all the way up to Washington and then as far east as New York.
Mm.
We did it. We
That's
had
dope.
to. Independently. No, you know? And then got with EMI Latin.
Really?
Got with EMI Latin from all that hard push. Had so many CDs that they couldn't ignore us.
Really? So you were signed in what year?
Like 2005. Not I don't know if it was signed. It was like some
Distribution type
trash
deal?
ass distribution. You know,
They
but,
couldn't do much for you?
you know, it was the most feria I had seen
Really?
with music ever. The
In
most
terms of the
feria
advance?
in a lump sum. Like no, like we had turned in the music, and then after the quarter, we saw what had generated, and I mean, I had never had a $16,000 check, homie.
Right.
I never had $16,000, and I got a $16,000 check from my catalog in the first quarter.
Which would be
Means
like
we were probably selling a couple
probably
units.
twice as much now with inflation and shit. That's
Right,
probably the
and he
equivalent
probably
of
didn't
like
give me all the
30,
feria.
40, yeah.
He probably didn't give me all the feria, you know.
But even
Probably
though
wasn't-
you signed that deal, are you still selling CDs out the trunk?
of course,
Right. So they're getting you in record shops and shit like that, but then you're also still doing your own
Sam
thing.
Goody, the warehouse. I remember walking into the mall one day. I was like, "What the fuck?" I go, "What the fuck?" Remember that?
Motherfuckers
Crazy.
don't remember all those old CD stores, Coconut Records and shit.
FYE and shit. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So walk in and you're like, "Oh shit, oh shit."
People
They had
forget that you had to make money to be a music fan. That doesn't make sense to people anymore. Now you pay your $10 a month on Apple Music and you're good.
Yeah,
It's like back then, like if somebody gave me a couple $100, if I got my check, couple $100 from work, I'm going to the CD store. I'm buying as many CDs as I can buy.
$15.99.
That's all I cared about.
$17.99.
Which
double
seems-
CDs for $20.
$20 CDs
You know,
and
like-
shit. What the fuck? That sounds so expensive now.
And it's crazy because it's not devaluated. Even though it's on a price point where it seems like a bargain to get all this music,
Right.
it's still important to know that the music is golden.
Yeah.
And that without your participation as an artist, you feel me? It means everything for you to go in and do your due diligence as a musician and do the most that you can and feed the machine and go hard, homie. Go fucking hard. If that's what you do, go hard and do it. Because it's possible. You feel me? But you got to put in that good work too. Motherfuckers want to release something, put it on Instagram, and hope that it's going to work out. It's not how it works. You feel me?
You gotta hit the streets. You gotta
Got to hit the streets. You got to
figure
put
out
little
creative
marketing
shit
dollars into
online,
things,
yeah.
You feel me? Right now, we running some billboards. God bless in the land. So we got a couple billboards. Before I flew in, Hey, homie, do you guys see the billboards? Hell yeah. Gang. You
That's
know?
dope. Hell yeah.
New York, Manhattan, a little quick one. I don't know what that means, but it's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's very like, it's milestones. Like, it's not every day. These are milestones. These are things that you chip away at to make your business better and do good stuff and try your best. And I think those are milestones that I'm excited about. Got a single with the homie Bishop Snow. We've been promoting that like crazy, and that's been some of the marketing that we do. So yeah, it's being on it, homie. Yesterday we shot some visuals. Came for that, you know, and then was excited to pull up here. Invited everybody and their mom to come, and everyone was tied up, and I came by myself. The little homie met me here, and then we got the other little homie that's shooting some behind the scenes with us and whatnot. So,
Definitely. When do you start to like kind of realize that you're more into the tattoo side of things than the music side of things?
When I got exposed to the tattooing again, I had a dude hit me up and maybe like 2015, 17, something like that. It's been a while now, 10 years, maybe something like that. And when I seen the message, I go, man, this dude, he looked like a dope dealer. The fuck is up with this guy? He looked like a dope dealer. I was looking at his shit. Tattoo artist. He's like, hey, I want to link up with you. Let's kick it. I want to buy a drink. Cool. All right, let's go. Picks me up when we go to Manhattan Beach or Huntington Beach, I don't know where. And we had a great time, homie. We had a really great time. And he only exposed me to all the new things that the tattooing industry had. Like, it was not like what we were talking about before. Homemade cuetes and
Right. Now this is big business.
People looking at you sideways. Now it's big business. Big.
Had you not drawn or worked on your craft for a long ass time because of the music shit?
So, man, I wanted to kick myself in the fucking head, homie. At that point, I go, fucking dumbass. It's like I couldn't balance both. I couldn't keep doing this and then keep doing that. God knows what he does.
But when you're a rapper, you're on the move, you're hustling, you're trying to be everywhere all at the same time. Tattoo artist, you post up all day.
Not
grinding
necessarily.
It out. Well, a lot of people, but yeah, you tell me.
A lot. Now, if you're a traveling tattoo artist,
right,
then you got to go hard. You got to grind. You got to trap. You got to shoot out the hooks.
Right.
You got to, hey, I'm going to be in this town. Hey, I'm going to be out here. Now you got to book flights, get that room. You got to find the spot where you're going to be at.
Right.
You got to send your clients there. You got to line up the appointments. I mean, it's a hustle, homie. Like, you got to work that shit,
So
right?
you've always been a big fan of taking your craft on the road as opposed to just being local? As far as tattooing goes?
I think once the EMI thing exposed us to the world, because that's what it did. It exposed us to the world, and then now we're doing shows in Spain, we're doing shows in Japan, we're doing shows in Mexico City, we're doing shows in Monterrey.
Going to cultures that are extremely fascinated by your culture. And you're able to monetize being this extremely authentic representative of that.
That part. Flipping CDs, flipping clothing, flipping verses. I mean, it's the early beginnings, of this genre that I see developing and all these amazing artists that grew from it, no matter where they're from. I feel like we were part of something that contributed to that growth. You feel me? We did that, and I'm happy to still continue being able to do it many, many, many moons later. You feel me? So it's a blessing.
Tattooing's your bread and butter? That's your primary revenue source?
I got a lot of amazing collectors, but then again, like the other day, I pulled up to Wichita and I made an amazing connection out there. So I got a little partner, my bro Lokes out there in Wichita. That flourished a little music connection. Like, oh, how can we get the music out here? What we need to do, and how can we work together? Let's partner. Let's do. So that was music related, trapping and hustling. Selling verses and getting in the stew and banging out some shit and setting that up, and then handling appointments in the day. banging out a few appointments, tattooing a little bit, you know, boom, boom, boom. And at this point, like, people ask me, you know, and I feel.
I don't know if they heard this noise this dog just made.
Yeah, it's too comfortable. You know, sometimes you feel divided because you want to work with people's budget, you know, but then you control the market because you say this thing of ours, it's been given away. You expecting a homie to get out of prison and you want to slide him a little 20 to blast you up.
20.
You feel me?
How much does a Spanky Loco tattoo cost per hour?
My minimum is $1,000.
Okay.
So I don't pick up the machine for less than $1,000.
Right. But average hourly, because I haven't even gotten tattoos in so fucking long that I don't even really know what the average rate is.
Average hourly, 500 an hour, something like that.
Okay.
It depends what we do, because I'm speedy too. Like, I fuck around and do your whole sleeve right now. I'll do the whole thing. When guys are like, come back next week. Come back and let me check my calendar. We're gonna book you for 3 weeks, and then we're, you know, like big more. Fuck no, homie. Sit your fucking ass down. Let's do it. And I freehand everything.
Really?
I try it on you. The challenge of me being ineffective and being regular and being average only pushed me to want to do the greatest things that I could ever do. Freehand tattoos. Freehand everything off of the dome, blasting your whole back up.
You
in
never
one
do a
city.
stencil?
Nah.
Really? Wow.
Nah. Never, I can't never say never.
Right.
On occasion, hey, I want my logo. Hey, my dog.
Right.
Hey, my mom, or whatever the case might be, you know? But for the most part, to throw some prison art on you, I'll freehand the whole motherfucking thing.
Wow.
The whole back, I'll blast you. Your chest, I'll blast you. Don't ask me, should I get tattooed? Hell yeah, get tattooed. Oh, someone said I'm too cute to get tattooed on my face. Blast your whole fucking face up, bitch. You feel me?
I like
Blast
it.
your face up. I hear that all the time. Oh, this tattooist said I'm too cute to get tattooed on my face. Simp ass motherfucker.
Okay, but there's a lot of tattoo artists where
That's your business, homie. How you gonna roll into the Jiffy Lube and not offer them the oil change, the window cleaning, the motherfucker? You feel me?
But I've heard a lot of tattoo artists say that if you pull up and you don't have your whole body tattooed and you say, I want to get a face tattoo, that they're going to say, nah.
The tattoo community is interesting.
Right.
You feel me?
You got the extreme traditionalists, and then you got people who are just hustling.
You know? It's a lot of, the genre is so big. You feel me?
Right.
The genre is so big. You got a little bit of everything. These diehards that think like, oh, the tattoo way and this and that. And sometimes I feel like, man, the tattoo way is blocking, because it used to be if you open up a shop next to another shop, like even like 10 miles away from a shop, 5 miles away, fool, they'll come and throw a brick in your fucking shop.
Right.
They weren't gonna come and give you a fucking banana loaf and tell you, hey, welcome to the neighborhood. Hell nah.
Right.
And motherfuckers do not understand. There's so much bread, so many fucking customers. You feel me? I'll be at a convention. I'll do conventions too, and I'll lock down a whole corner, and I'll get 4 booths and bring 6, 7 homies. Shout out to homie Serio from Compton. That's my dog. He brought him on to anytime we do anything, that's my boy come and tattoo the homies, tattoo me, or but he also come with me. Come with me. Ex-felon comes out and goes, and award-winning artist now, from doing these events and submitting art and now winning awards for, putting in that good work.
Right.
Lock down the whole area. We're employing motherfuckers, blasting motherfuckers up.
What's your preferred style of tattooing?
I want to say Chicano prison art. Chicano prison art.
Because you mentioned doing like dog portraits too, and I feel like a lot of really good tattoo artists can't really do portraits. Like that's its own skill set.
It is just like letters. I don't do letters.
Really?
I don't do letters
Just not
because
your
I feel
thing?
like that's a very intricate, amazing, beautiful craft that you have to focus on. If you could balance both, that's beautiful, because a lot of artists do. I have been unfortunate to not embrace the lettering and really develop that. I rather say, hey, my little homie does letters. fuck with my little homie.
I'm surprised just because you come from the graffiti community and that's all about just freaking
It's
your
all
letters.
about letters.
Yeah.
Yes. Now I'll do gang blocks.
Mm.
Now I don't stay away from them. Like I'll do some old English letters. I'll do, you know, some big gangster blocks. I'll do, you know.
But when it comes to that really intricate calligraphy, it's so beautiful. And sometimes I think like, bro, I want to make that my hobby. I want to just work on being an ill calligraphy artist. Because I watch YouTube videos of it sometimes, and it's just like, there's just something I love about watching that shit come out of somebody's hand, man.
So elegant and beautiful. And it's its own craft, you know.
Yeah.
Me, you know, I've you know, color, letter, you know, I'll try a little bit of everything.
Right.
You get requests for everything.
But mostly, you're not really into doing the color.
No, I don't get asked to.
Right.
I'd love to try a little more, but really my thing is Chicano prison art, and I do it everywhere. I've done it everywhere. I mean, I've been everywhere to do it.
Right.
Brazil, Germany. Feel me? Europe,
Definitely.
Rome. You ever had espresso in Rome?
In Rome, I don't think I've actually been to Rome. No.
Calabria, southern Italy. You know what I'm saying? Moscow.
What's the number one shit that people want to ask you about in terms of
Sao Paulo?
In terms of your culture? Like, what do people want to talk to you about? Because as a tattoo artist, you have hours and hours and hours where you got this dude who's sitting right next to you, and he could potentially ask you anything. What do people really want to know about?
But I think they know. I think they assume they know because they see the movies. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh shit, low riding and you hear low riding and tattooing and gangster shit. You really hear, you know.
Right.
And I feel like that's the, you know, that's the excitement and connection.
You got lowriders and shit. You're into all that.
I'm into that, homie.
You just
I
got
rap
like a
about it.
collection in the garage type shit, or
No, I wish I could. I wish I.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? We gotta, you know.
It's an expensive habit.
We gotta work a little, you know. We gotta work diligently to get these. But I got, you know, I got a couple cars. My my preferred is the one I got on my face, my coupe, the Coupe de Ville.
Right.
I got it right there. Shout out the homie, the homie Tone from Locals Car Club out there in Seattle. Hooking my shit up right now, swapping out the motor, trying to get ready for summer. I just hauled it out there. Then I'll come have fun over here and haul it back over here.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely. I want to ask you about this before we get too far into the current state of affairs, but there's a very old video on YouTube of you running down on a guy who, from what I could tell, seems like he's somewhat of a known guy. His name was Nightowl. You gave him the business.
A lot of people didn't like that shit.
Really? What caused that scenario in the first place?
Rest in peace, Nightowl.
Oh, he passed. Okay.
Rest in peace, Nightowl. Nightowl was a fucking legend. You feel me? When it comes to the Chicano rap shit and our demographic, he was a legend, homie.
Where was he from?
San Diego.
Okay.
San Diego. But you know, it comes down to like those instances where like, are we being embraced by the big homies or are we being deterred by the big homies? You know, and it's easy to be like, you know, fuck you. This is my game, you know.
And that's the vibe he was giving you?
That's the vibe that's the vibe that we got. It was like, I don't know. We had a session set up to work together, and I was very excited about this, you know. He had like legendary cocaine. Shout out cocaine. My big dog cocaine, my Carnilio.
I thought you were saying that he just had a shitload of cocaine. Okay.
No,
Right.
Cocaine the musician, homie, the legendary cocaine.
I was surprised you were going to just talk about that so freely.
And you know, he had a lot of these accolades under his belt that were, you know, to admire. You know, he worked with a lot of legends. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, reaching out and trying to connect and trying to make that connection, it was like, I don't know, he probably thought like, these fools, fuck these guys. And so he said he would come, and we, you know, like we sitting here waiting for him, he never came. So, you know, he's me, hey, I'll be there next week for sure, Friday, expect me there. Friday came again, paid the engineer. Nobody came. So there was
and that's like, if you don't fuck with me, just let me know. You know?
So it wasn't just that. Well, that fine, you couldn't make it, but whatever.
Right.
But there was the internet was starting to pop off. It was barely popping off, and now little blogs were coming up. And for our genre, we had Chicano blogs pushing our music.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going on this blog. You know, I try to go on these blogs and post my links, and like communicate with folks and go whatever the fuck, And I remember seeing like a post on the blog, something, and someone hit me up. Hey, fool, you see what Nightowl's writing on there? Like, you writing some reckless shit. Like, I think you hanging out with his girl or something like that, or somebody he was fond of or talked to or something. She was hanging out with us. She was a homegirl. She was good people. And the homie, that was his friend. They did they thing. I don't know what what that relationship was about, but she come and it was all respectful but he didn't like that shit. He didn't like that, and so he made it his business to be like, hey, you fools, like if I see that you guys around, and I was like, man, you motherfucker, like you got the audacity, you didn't even show up. I mean, what do you mean? Now you like writing me on the internet? What weird shit is this, And I didn't believe it. I saw the stuff and I thought, that's anybody. That's not the homie. But it was. He went on an interview, and then now he's like, yeah, these new little rappers out here think they hard. And at the time we started like documenting what we were doing, our shows, our events, all the street teaming, where we were at. And we'd compile it on a DVD. If we went to, Japan, we were filming that shit and putting DVDs together with the soundtracks. I mean, we were working, homie. And apparently that was, like all these guys make, doing their little DVDs thinking they cool, they ain't shit, and this, that, and the other. And I thought, fuck, homie, what the fuck?
So you end up seeing him at this event? You went there
So I ended up seeing him at a studio.
Right.
And from what I was relayed, it was like, hey, he's here. He's with some people. They probably strapped up. And I'm like, well, then you slap the shit out of him, homie. Oh, no. And this guy. Oh, so there we go. And when we ran in there, it was like two regular-ass people, like some white boy, some youngsters, some black fool, some white boy, and then him sitting on the couch, and I was like, fuck, homie, like, you fools might want to leave, like, that way, and the homies take the homie that way, and, the little homie comes in, I go, record this shit.
What year are we talking?
Oh, fuck, I don't.
2005, okay.
Yeah, and, we in there, and yeah, the homie shook. He's fucking shook. Fucking Walter was like, damn, And the way it's portrayed, it's like, well, all these fools came in and punked them.
But it's just you in his
scandalous,
face. It's just you running up to him, though. It's like the other people are just kind of off to the side.
Yes. So it wasn't like everyone was trying to fuck him up. Everyone was so busy that, like, it was my prerogative to get with you. It was my prerogative. And when I told him, come, fool, we're going to go outside. He was like, nah, like, I ain't going outside with you. And he sat there. I was like, come on, fool, we going outside. And he didn't want to. So at that point, I thought, fuck, fool, this was a killer. This was a fucking killer. Like, I felt so maybe betrayed of the fondness I had for what he was doing and representing, that I thought, I'm not gonna punch him. Now I'm gonna slap him like a bitch.
And you're right about him not standing up, because I was watching that just thinking, like, as a reminder, if there's ever a scenario where it feels like somebody's gonna hit me, you better fucking stand up. Like, you can't just be sitting down. Because that makes you like defenseless,
Sad.
God bless the dead. I didn't even know he was dead.
Sad, like sad, because I'm not. I mean, if we could have mended that, and he could have been my big homie, and he could have guided me, and he could have pushed me in the direction that he knew I was trying to go, then it would have been a different outcome. If he would have embraced me and loved me, then that wouldn't have, none of that would have developed. You feel me? I had a lot of respect and love for him. You know, anyone that I meet, it's like the teacher at school. You get an A. You get an A. You got an A. You got an A. You got an A. Then you start fucking up, then you got a B. Then you fuck up some more, and you got a C. And an F, get the fuck away from me. You know? And I try my best, homie. I try to be a good homie. You know? I made mistakes. I apologize, you know?
You and him never connected after that incident?
He hated me forever for that. I ruined his life, homie.
Oh, really? That fucked up his career?
Damn. You know? And I got a lot of heat for it. People hated me for it. And that was the beginning of my stigma of, man, that fucking asshole.
Too gangster to fuck with.
Fuck that. I don't know.
But like
fucking
people are probably
asshole.
saying that, right? Like
I don't know. Maybe
he's
I don't
too
know.
street. He might fuck somebody up.
That led to other encounters and other issues. And then at that point I thought, fuck it. I'm the most hated. I'll eat that. Fuck it.
Right.
You know? And then you just cutting yourself off from opportunities. People know you as what you're perceived to be. People talk about you as being something that you're not. Just like with that hype with, you know, when we talked, it's like, oh, that guy. The guy that went to chase that. And it's like, homie, you know, like, I'll eat it. I ain't tripping on none of that.
When you first made that video going at 6ix9ine, what was the motivation? Because people forget how controversial this was. Just the fact that he was moving around in L.A. and everybody was trying to go with the narrative of like, look at how this dude can move around in L.A. I thought that this place was so gangster. How's this dude running around? This is before the snitch shit, but he was disrespecting the Bloods and the Crips and all that. Were you just seeing that on the news and you were pissed off about it, or was it more of a personal connection?
No, we had interaction, homie. We had interaction.
Where was that?
I told him, like, we had communicated.
Okay.
We were going back and forth, and it was like, hey, fool, keep pushing. Nah, homie, I don't go, I'm not, hey, fuck this guy. Let's give him a hard time. No, homie. Wow. Keep pushing with your fucking crazy hair and everything. Go hard. Do the best, homie.
So you had seen him as somebody who was doing something good for Hispanic rappers before?
I had seen the entertainment, and I thought, this guy's gonna spark a lot of, you know, things, emotions. It's hard to understand what was going on there, you know? Like, what is this, you know? And I just thought, it's him. It's his thing, you know? That's his thing.
Right.
Go hard, homie. And he's like, I'm gonna be in LA. I wanna get all la raza. What did he tell me? He goes, I wanna get la raza or something like that. La raza, something to that effect. And automatically you're like, yeah, we're gonna get all the homies. We're gonna caravan. We're gonna, yeah, you know. I go, yeah, come down.
That
I'll
would have been
tattoo
so
you.
insane.
I go, I'll tattoo you. We'll tattoo you. You know. And he goes, nah, not on no tattoo shit, on some music shit. We'll do music. And I thought, all right, gangster, let's go. But then I start seeing shit online that was questionable. You feel me? Like different things. And I check, you know, hey, homie, how you doing? It was kind of quiet. And one day I go, fuck it, I'm gonna send him this screenshot of some weird shit, you know? And he didn't like that. He was like, I go, hey, homie, I don't know, fool. Like, the homies ain't gonna embrace you like that with some of this questionable stuff. And he was like, I'm gonna go to LA anyway. Because it was a trip lined up for LA, I think. And I go, okay. And then thinking about it, I thought, well, what he's saying is fuck you, fuck your homie, fuck all of that. I'm gonna do what I want and all. And I feel like not fully understanding and not fully being where I'm at now, and not fully, you know, thinking of you know, the bigger picture. You know, it's like, yeah, fuck this guy. Well, fuck you, you know, and boom, you know, and that's easy to tear down, easy to break and tear down and destroy. quick, easy. You feel me? So that fast, no problem.
That would have been the craziest shit ever if he was out here just moving around with people like you and shit. That would have been just like such a crazy image if that it was actually how it played out. Because he did end up making his connection one way or another. He had some people protecting him while he was out here for a while, but then that all went bad pretty quick too.
What it's once it was like fun, and then like once it started being weird, it was like it was not fun no more. Once it was like hot and weird, like.
And people forget too that this was before he snitched. So it's like he already was mega controversial in LA before all that.
Yeah, but to each their own, and God bless all the homies. Shit, do your best, stay positive, drink a lot of water.
But was that a weird time period? I agree with you on the water for sure. A lot of people are dehydrated.
Yes.
Especially in the neighborhoods and shit, man. They got
more water.
More water, less beer, less energy drinks, less coffee, alcohol, whatever.
Coffee.
Me too.
Fuck.
If you got to drink something besides water, it should probably be coffee.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
How you like yours?
A little bit of cream.
That's lately I do oat milk.
Oat milk is
good. It gives
good.
it a little, because I don't put no sweet in it.
Me neither.
And it gives it like a little, it takes the bitterness away. Although I don't mind,
Look how gentrified we are. Talking about
lattes
oat milk.
and shit, oat milk.
Talking to Spanky Loco about oat milk.
Oat milk. Yeah. I was telling the homie, we ain't got enough acai and ain't no California stuff in where I'm at. It's a bunch of hicks and
Mexican food's weak.
fucking fucking tacos with sour cream and fucking weird shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, so the Mexican food in general out there is weak as fuck. Couple exceptions maybe?
Yeah. We always set up shop. We know how to set up shop. But now, as far as like you in the motherland and there's a variety and there's options, you're more limited.
So like that a lot of places. You go
Very
there
limited.
and you start looking at Postmates, never mind looking online, trying to figure out where you go to eat, and you realize, like, bro, it's all chains and fucking trash.
And then they'll be like, this spot is bomb. And then when you go, it's like, all right.
No,
but they don't know no better.
The best is about 10 years ago, I went to London to judge a BMX contest, and they're hyping up this Mexican spot. They fucking bring that shit out, bro. I'm looking at this thing. Like, I only been in LA for a few years at this point. I'm like, this shit is an abomination. I ate it. It was the worst. I can't even remember what the fuck it was at this point, but I just remember being like, oh, yeah, I'm not eating Mexican food in Europe.
Stuff.
They don't know what's going on.
Nah. They trying, though. God bless.
Yeah.
I had Mexican food in Europe. Shit was boo-boo.
Yeah.
It was boo-boo, yeah. It was straight boo-boo. I acted like it was all right, but shit was trash.
Well, when we say Europe, it's kind of broad because, you got Spain and shit. I kind of almost have confidence that they could pull it off, but London,
I don't know, man. Spanish food is, hundreds and hundreds of years in the making.
Yeah.
And to me, I apologize to my Spanish folks. I ain't fond of Spanish.
Really?
I'm sorry. Trash.
I like it a lot, but definitely
they gonna hate me for that one.
if you want like the LA street food experience, you're probably not gonna get it.
One time we was in I don't know, my Spanish homies, we was in Ibiza and we're all graphing, fucking smashing in Ibiza and tattooing and the boys they like, oh, the best food in Spain and the best and we walk in the spot, yeah, it was packed. And they got the ham and shit everywhere, and we sit down. I'm fucking starving. Like it been a long day, painting, no breakfast, nothing. And we sit down. And it was like toast with like fucking tomato paste, and like carvings of that ham. That was it. That was dinner. And motherfuckers were going bananas in there for that shit. It was full, but to me, I was very disappointed because different palate, different everything. I ain't even fond of like tomato paste on bread. Like that's just me though.
My judgment might be kind of fucked up because the last time I went to Spain, we pretty much ate exclusively like the most high-end restaurants. So I'm probably got a little bit of a different.
You got a variety, homie. I mean tapas and.
Oh, I love the tapas.
It's what it's what you get. I don't know. It's what you try. Some of it is all right, and some of it to me was not all right. But my apologies. I love all my people in Spain. They my folks. I got a lot of love in Spain. Always have. And shout out my people in Spain.
100%. What was your relationship with Slim 400? Was it beyond music?
You know, we had a common interest.
So that was during the whole 6ix9ine time period.
I don't know,
that you
but
and
we
him
had a
linked.
common interest,
Got
you know,
it.
and that made him cool to me, you know.
Mm.
That made him cool, and he embraced me, you know. He was smooth, and you know we connected, and we right away, yeah, come in, my G, come in, and I love the production that we made.
Mm.
I love the production we made. Rest in peace to the homie.
Definitely.
Yes.
When did you? Because like I seen you on Fox News, and they were basically like the guy was Jesse Walters or whatever. He's like pressing you about immigrants and sanctuary cities and shit. And I'm like, how the fuck did you get into the position of having these sort of like right wing news hosts grilling you about this
I don't
shit?
know, homie. They just hit me up.
Really?
They just sent me a message and said we're gonna have a car pick you up. Where you at? You in LA? We're gonna have a car pick you up in LA. And I go, no, right now I'm up in the Pacific Northwest. Oh, no problem.
Because they got studios everywhere. They can just bring you into.
Everywhere. So they had their transportation pick me up, and I didn't know, homie. Like I the way they made it seem, it was like, oh, we just wanted to ask you some questions about your nonprofit and
Right.
about
You seemed a little
immigrant-
blindsided. You were like, "What? Like
Hey,
you're
homie,
trying to blame this shit on me?"
Hey, you remember that movie with fucking you remember that movie with Jim Carrey? Where they make him the spokesperson for the fucking the company that's
mind erasing
embezzling
shit?
he's embezzling all the money. I think it was like
Fuck.
he goes broke on me. Anyway, they put him in front of the TV, and he don't got no clue that they're about to ask him all kind of crooked ass shit about this company, and they just gave him the position. So he's sitting there like can't believe all the shit they're asking him, you know. And that's kind of how I felt. I mean, I was like, wow, I was not ready for that.
Because you know what their game is. They want to make you look like a dumbass, or they want to make you look like a criminal, or they want to make you look like a gang member. You know, they want to make you look as bad as possible because that's how they get good content.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen.
Yeah, you kind of refused to engage with what he was trying to
Nah.
put on you. Yeah.
You know, like it's true. My experience with migration and with new beginnings has been like my taking care of the family. I don't know about like cartel shit and like, oh, my dad's so dope, or like I don't know nothing about that. My parents were very square and hardworking, and they like my jefa worked really hard, sold, and then they built together, built their sewing business, and in Culver City they had a little spot, and they employed a lot of people of color, and so for me that was not prevalent, like yeah, and you start learning, and you connect, and you see, and you know what I mean, like you understand that part of it, but like as far as being in that and the criminal part of it, and it just was not something I could answer and say, yeah, well, give you my opinion about what people that are crossing now and how it's open. I don't know nothing.
Like you
about
just
that,
crossed the
homie.
border the other day.
Yeah,
like you look the part for what they want to get across, but then it's like so obvious doing the interview that you don't really have the lived experience to talk about what they're fucking talking
I mind
about.
fucked them.
Yeah.
I mind fucked them.
That was pretty funny.
Thank you.
Okay. So how do you feel about the current state of like personally as an outsider, I think it's been kind of amazing seeing what's happened over the past like 3, 4, 5 years in terms of, it feels like the Mexican community in LA has so much more media presence. You can become a superstar out here in this environment without having to get co-signed by any of the sort of like major hip hop platforms and everything like that. I look at somebody like Lefty Gunplay, dude's like absolutely mega famous within this community over the course of a couple months, and it's not like anybody had to pay attention to him besides his fucking community. Like it's kind of amazing to see that.
Yeah, I followed. I was like, man, it's on my feed. Man, let me follow real quick one time and support. I don't. It's not extensive my research, but I say I'm a supporter. Like support brown homies, Support that homie. Go follow the other homie,
Rowdy Rax.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's going crazy
go
too.
share my and they know, like Rowdy knows some of the people I saw, like that I know, and they see I like to like his stuff, or I like and that's until I could better understand and better communicate, and maybe one day have the opportunity, but until then our duty is to push the homies. Regardless, whether you like their shit, don't like their shit, whether you understand them or don't understand them, my thing is like brown love, push the homies, and I think what's happening here by having Chicano homies here and having artists like that, it's a blessing, homie. It's much needed, my boy. You feel me? Like we're the movers and shakers, but don't tokenize us. We're not only in the kitchen. You feel me? We're not just at Home Depot.
Right.
Like, fuck all that. You feel me? We put bread in your motherfucking pocket. You feel me?
Because somebody like Lefty is controversial because he's super fucking entertaining. He's interesting to people, but then you're also going to get a little bit of blowback from people that are like, this dude kind of represents not necessarily the best representation. He's kind of fucked up, it seems, in a lot of the videos. He's drinking.
What you mean, like how? Oh, I didn't let you finish.
He shows up a little loaded to some of the interviews and stuff, and then people judge him. And I actually heard him say in an interview the other day, the drugs thing is the only thing that people put on me. Like, that's the only shit that you can say about me. I'm really from where I'm from. I really went and sat down for 10 years, did all this prison time, whatever. The only thing that people will be able to really criticize him for is the drug thing, which I was like, that is a good point, because everybody gets fucked up. It's just in different ways and to different levels.
When you're growing and you're winning, motherfuckers don't want to celebrate that. We talked about that. It's like you're not gonna, and it be from your own fucking people. So it's like, what does it take to change that mind state? Is it gonna hurt you to support the homie even though you don't like his lifestyle? You know what I'm saying? Can you send the little homie a little prayer and be like, homie, I know you're gonna do the right thing, and I know you're gonna grow, and I know you're gonna win. You feel me? But to wish for his demise, to wish that he fails, to wish that any of these little homies fail, no matter where they come from, that's whack, homie. That's trash. That's insecure.
And
feel me?
like I know that just because somebody's fucked up on drugs today don't mean that they're gonna be like that forever.
A lot of my recordings, I was fucked up on drugs. A lot of my stuff, I was trying to hide the pain. You feel me? I was trying to hide the pain. I was trying to be somewhere else. I was trying to be numb to the things that were affecting me. Losing my kids, having cases, going into the system, economically being displaced, all of that. Losing homies, to murders, losing homies to prison, all that, it takes a toll, homie. And it's like you want to find the answer. And sometimes the answer that you choose is not going to be the right one. Like covering it or trying to forget about it by being somewhere else. It's understandable, and like you young. When you young, you gotta do it, homie. When you young, you in that motion of learning and experiencing, and that's where praying for the little homie is important, because then we like, man, you in a position to win. We want to see you win, homie. Win and succeed and do all those things that you want to do. Get up out the hood, take care of your kids, go buy a house, own things, buy real estate, open your own business, employ motherfuckers, right? That's every homie. That's every homie. So when you're like, fuck that vato, it's like, homie, you're his counterpart. You came from the same struggle, even though you ain't from his area. You know the struggle, homie. So why you being a hater? Why you being critical like that? You feel me? Why you being so judgmental of a lifestyle that you live too? Right? You don't like the way he lives, but you got homies like that, right? You don't love your own homeboys. You don't love your homies that are caught up in that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you don't tolerate it. Yeah, you don't supply it. Yeah, you don't partake in it. You don't condone it, right? but you're not gonna treat the homie like shit. You're not gonna be like, fuck that vato. It's still a brother.
Right.
That's still a brother. You feel me?
That's a message that gets lost on the internet a lot. It's like if on the internet, it's like if a person does one thing that you don't like, then you should never associate with them. You should publicly disown them.
Whack.
It's like the opposite of how you would treat a close friend or a family member.
Whack. And I will never do that. I never put my homies on blast. I would never put my homeboys on blast. No matter how wrong, they always right. You feel me? It don't matter how much hurt and pain, I could never turn around. No matter how much hurt and pain I ate or how much bad medicine I got served, I could never turn around and give that medicine to my homies. I could never turn around and be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this. Nah. You know, that to me it's not part of the unwritten rules, you feel me?
I wanted to ask you this question. How did you get a relationship going with Gold Toes, who I was with yesterday?
You know, what's interesting, that's like a 9-10 year thing that's been the guy's persistent, homie.
He is.
The guy's fucking persistent.
Right.
You know, like I remember tattooing a client, and the client goes, hey, I got a vato that wants to talk to you. Who's that? Oh, this dude from the Bay. Gold Toes, have you heard of him? And I yeah, I had heard of him. But right away, I go, fuck no. You know? I go, nah.
Because you've been brought up to view him as somebody that you're not supposed to be fraternizing with.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Which is interesting because we're Mexican.
You got a lot more in common than you have
We're Mexican.
that sets you apart.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And that's the interesting, sad situation. You feel me? But you know, like it was, you know, progressive. It wasn't like it wasn't overnight. It wasn't like, it's been progressive, you know. Hey homie, how you doing? Have a great day. Oh shit, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Now, oh, you too. Hey, oh gracias. Like, I don't know. You know, like urban legends. Like, I never seen one up close. I don't know what the what the motivation and you know. So I'm like,
in terms of why he wanted to meet you and shit.
And at the time, he was like, man, you know, in prison, like, there's a lot of homies that are mediating and working it out, and you'll be surprised, homie. There's sides that are coming together that are really hashing out their indifferences and this and that, and I was not as in tune with that as you know, as him, and I wasn't ready to nurture that. You know, he told me, hey, for you, me, we can really push this thing of, you know, and like, you know, homie, it's not my thing, homie. It's not my thing.
In terms of what? Trying to bring people together?
Trying to, you know, embrace bringing that type of change. It's beyond me, you feel me? It's not in my hands. All I could do is be a good brother, be a good person, be a good man, be a good son, be a good neighbor. You feel me? A man hollers at me respectfully and gives me flowers and loves me and respects me or acts like he does and gives me positive attention and fills my cup, then I'm going to give you the same, right? Because I got, you know, like, from all this traveling, homie, I got a lot of friends everywhere. Well, you know, like, I don't belong in New Jersey, and I can't talk to my LK homies out there and see my brothers and you know, and hey, salute, and they salute me, and they know, homie. It ain't like they're like, fuck LA. Because they can, homie.
The people who have never left their neighborhood are always the most serious about not fucking with people on the other side of town. And then the people who have traveled the world are usually the people that start to realize relatively quickly this shit don't matter that much. What brings us together is more important than what divides us.
You know? So it's like, that's why it's just important to be cultured. It's important you go try new foods. Important to talk to new people. Important to think outside the box. Like,
right.
But I'm you know, it's not my movement, but respectfully, I respect those that respect me. How about that? I respect those that respect me.
Mm.
You feel me? Interesting story, homie. Last night, you know, shooting images and doing, you know, working out. I came to work and doing stuff with the homies and shooting and doing stuff. It's like you start, you know, contemplating like, well, like, you know, it's easy to break and tear and destroy. And like, honestly, I've done all of that, homie.
Mm.
I've done all of that. Time and time again. One rapper, and then history repeats itself, another rapper, and then another one, and like this and like that. And I don't know, in the place that I'm at, I don't want my legacy to be like, oh, this fool, he didn't give a fuck about shit. Fucking asshole.
Mm.
You know? At this point, I go into like the youth academy in Washington. Shout out all my youngsters at the academy.
Mm-hmm.
24-1, 24-2. And these are all kids and, you know, morals that I pull up with, and I take things to painting supplies, candy. I bring them candy. The keys are mine. When I go there, the institution, they stay there. They got to catch up on credits. They got to work with administrators to do better, to work at their credits for school. They're borderline in trouble. But what's interesting is for that institution to have a majority of Chicanos in there,
Uh-huh.
and a small percentage of everything else, it really makes you think, homie. You're like, you see who's hindered, homie. Socially, you get to going into these institutions, and you see it's only brown faces.
Mm.
You feel me? So my point in my life, I'm thinking like, man, I don't want to destroy. I want to love. I want to live. I want to push. I want to see you win. And that's always been my attitude. I don't think I've ever been that guy that's like, man, damn, them shoes are nice. Fuck that guy.
I'm gonna take them shits.
I'm gonna take them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, yeah, it's just interesting. You go in there and you know the need is there, and that's, I think, my priority is lifting, you know, doing different things. I told you I'm on some whole other shit, homie. I'm on some whole other shit. Talking to the little homies. I had a little norteño homie in the institution. He's like, I don't want to ask for no favors because I know you don't fuck with me. I say, homie, come here. Little vato, little youngster, homie. Come here. You the one I'm going to fuck with the most. Because it pains me that you think that, homie.
Yeah.
It pains me that you think that I'm going to give everyone else attention, and I'm going to tell you to go fuck yourself. You feel me? At that moment, I got to think that these are kids. I gotta think that these are children. I gotta be thinking like, oh, well, let me pick and choose who I'm going to help. Let me work with the homies. I'm only work with the homies. I'm only work with them in this institution. I got to work with Pacific Islanders. I got to work with the blacks. I got to work with homies. I got to work with, you know, that surprise element that surprised me, you know, that I'm like, whoa, what do I do with this? What do I do with this, right?
Especially as you get older and you start to have kids and you start to like think about the world that you want for your kids, and you can't imagine wanting to teach your kids to have the same biases that you have, right?
I take my son in there. I take my son in there. My son goes with me. We're there together. You feel me? So I don't know. My position is a lot different than just the rap thing. My position is a lot different than just the street thing. You know, I want to like serve my people. I want to lift our people. I see the damage that's being done and the damage that I've been a part of, you know? And if I could somehow use my situation to lift us, that's the plan, homie. That's the goal, you know? Would I like to be a doctor and maybe put the, you know, the urban shit? Well, yeah, but I don't have that. Well, can I live off of my generational wealth so I don't have to rap no more and nah, I don't have that, homie. I don't have that. So it's like Work with what you got. But be careful what you put out there, too. My opinion. And I love all the homies. I love all the homies right here on my side. I love all my homies because I understand them. I feel their pain. I see their struggle. I know, and you know, like a homie feels a certain way. I ain't gonna be like, oh, that's how you feel? Well, I don't feel like that. Don't go by or no. You know, like, oh, I'm evolved. Don't talk to me. Like, I understand, homie. I see you. I understand, homie. And forgive me if you think that I'm two-sided, or if you think I'm favoring to love someone else on top of loving you. I love you, and I love you, and I love you, and I want you to win. And if you think that I'm less because I want better for people, then so be it, homie. And I chunk them with niggas. I chunk them with motherfuckers. You feel me? You know, it's easy to fall back and be like, oh man, this is the only solution. This is the only solution. This is the only thing that's gonna kill this funk. So come on, let's go. And it's happened, homie, plenty of times. Plenty of times. Hey, homie, woo. All right, come on. Because I'm passionate, homie. I'm real about this journey of mine and this legacy that we built up and these things that have put us in this position to be this, right? And use what we got to feed our kids and survive but don't pimp the culture. Don't disregard that we're a big factor in the culture. Don't tokenize us. Don't disrespect us. Don't make us less, homie, because we made the game. We the market that made the game. How about that?
Respect. So okay, would Spanky Loco ever move back to LA? Are you addicted to just being out in the wilderness?
No. I mean,
you could still come back.
I'm here. You feel me?
Right.
We got a little spot here in the West Side. I come and see my family.
Nice.
Come and see my people. We back and forth.
But you just really appreciate that serenity out there?
It's a spot that I'm at now. Who knows? Maybe I'll go to Europe for a year. You know what I'm saying? I'm writing the homies in you know, out of the country. Hey, what's up? Studying the economy, looking at shit remotely. What can we do? You know?
I would love to see how people look at you walking down the street in France.
Let's go.
I would love to just see like what the reaction is. It's got to be very interesting.
Yeah, it's always different. I got people that, you know, they pull their purse like this.
Yeah.
You know, where I'm at, you know, go to the market, I'm with my kids, and some pull their purse this way, like letting me know, like, you ain't shit. Nigga, like, don't even come next to me. You a brown, ugly motherfucker with tattoos on your face. You a piece of shit. Let me pull my purse this way just to let you know that I'm diligent of your look and your being and who you are and what you represent, right? Easy, yeah. But to get to know me is you get to know me is you get to love me. You feel me? Love me or hate me.
100%. What do you want people to keep an eye out for in terms of new stuff you got coming?
Man, we back on this music stuff, going hard. Shout out the homies in Mexico. Shout out Buffon Illuminati. We got a single coming out of Mexico. Shout out the homie Bishop Snow. You feel me? We've been doing a lot of great production. Beast Melody, youngster out of St. Petersburg, Russia.
Really?
Boy goes hard as a motherfucker on these beats.
Wow.
Shout out the little homie.
Shout out Russia.
Shout out Russia. Yellow Hill. Good little homie that I just tapped into. The good West Side homie that I just tapped in with. We got a little banger coming out. So great,
nice.
Great things with him. An amazing guy. You know,
He's been interviewed on this platform before.
Yeah.
Not by me, but yeah.
Amazing.
He's got shit on here.
I like him. He's a good little homie. I want him to win. I want them all to win. Jay Worthy, I got a little something with Jay Worthy. I've already had a record with him that I'm excited about.
Yeah,
with this Cocaine album that we put together. Got a project with Cocaine, Legendary Cocaine, and you know, West Side Worthy and me been talking about, you know, moving forward on doing records, this West Side movement. So that's been exciting for me to, you know, be able to manifest that. I got quite a few things that I've been pushing. Clothing. I brought you some gifts though.
Oh, sweet.
Do people bring you things, homie?
Sometimes.
Like how often?
Somebody gave me this hoodie. So
Not for no free promo. Like really, like here, this is for you. Have you? When does that happen?
I feel like people don't do that much because I don't feel like I'm a gift giver. I never, like, besides my girl and my kid, I never really give people gifts. So I feel like people don't give me gifts, which I'm okay with because I feel very awkward receiving gifts.
Yeah, you're gonna feel awkward right now, player.
Shit. Here we go. Oh shit, the backpack itself. Spanky Loco backpack. Wow. Oh, here we go. Okay. Fire. Thanks so much. What does it say? Be good people.
What's up with that?
It's a good message. for
What
the
you
people
think
out
about
there.
that?
No, I like it. It's about as important and as basic as it gets. Be good people. No problem. And then was the other sleeve say something, or is that just that one? Okay. No problem. So wait, am I reading it the wrong
So
way?
Loco.
So Loco. There we go. Okay.
So Loco's the brand.
Fire.
So Loco brand.
Hell yeah.
Tees, hoodies. You feel me?
That's what's up.
Aprons, tattoo aprons, rolling trays, ashtrays.
Beautiful.
Did the dog lay on that motherfucker?
Perhaps. Might have to give it a wash.
Asshole.
Alright.
And then I got something else.
Oh shit. Oh.
It's a coloring book.
Wow, the Spanky Loco coloring book. Now, I really do like obscure hip-hop memorabilia, so this is actually pretty sick. Cause
So I'm gonna get one for my niece,
Nobody
right?
else
For your
got
daughter, so that she could color in, and then one for memorabilia.
oh, that'll be
right?
fire.
Come on.
I like it.
Cultural, homie.
Love
It's
a
got,
sad clown.
What images does it have? Like images that are not common in a coloring book, right?
This is all drawn by you.
Oh yes,
Fire.
all of them.
Hell
So
yeah.
when the little homies open the book, can you imagine the feeling they get when they see people that resemble them in that book?
That's dope. Nah, for sure.
You know, religious figures, homies, clowns.
Homies.
Come on, color them.
Fire.
You feel me?
Now, my kid would love it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then this one's the collectible.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Put this motherfucker on eBay
Really?
in a couple years for $100,000.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much, man. This is sick. Beautiful, man. Yeah. I respect the independent hustle, and you definitely got an amazing story over all these years. So I really appreciate you sharing it with us.
Thank you, Garnal.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much.
Fuck yeah. Glad we were able to finally get this done. You got a very inspirational story, and I like seeing you, spread positivity and push this positive message.
A little unorthodox for this podcast, but I think it's very important, homie.
Yeah.
Right? I think
Definitely.
it's crucial.
I think this is a crucial perspective in comparison to, sometimes you have conversations with people that are a little hyped up on.
I'm fucking hyped too.
No, but I mean, like, hyped up on the shit that's not necessarily the best
I'm
to be
hyped up too,
on.
but I'm refraining myself.
Oh, okay.
I'm refraining myself. You feel me?
Right.
I could open the faucet on me and let the fucking water run.
Mm.
But you gotta pick and choose your battles. Homie, you gotta be careful, like
Mm.
what energy you put out there,
Definitely.
right? And right now the energy is win, homies. Go hard, homies. Get it, homies. Y'all got it. Win. Cause when we win, homie, things start changing. You feel me? We losing. How long we gonna keep losing?
Mm.
How long we gonna keep with this trauma? Fuck this guy. Fuck that guy. He ain't taking nothing from you.
Mm.
Eat, prosper, and wish the next motherfucker great things. Cause you don't know their story, homie.
Mm.
You don't know what they're going through, right? You don't know. You never know, homie.
And if
So-
even one person watches this interview and they choose to go in a incrementally positive direction with their life as opposed to some other shit that they might be on, then
we did our work.
it's
homie.
been a good afternoon's work.
We did our work.
Yeah.
We gonna spread positivity again soon.
Let's
I
do
know
it.
this ain't the only time.
For sure.
And it's a blessing to be here with you. I've been excited to connect and, excited for your development and all the great things that you've been doing in these 6 years that we've been back and forth. So
Hell yeah, man.
congratulations to you.
No, I appreciate it. I'm glad we got it done at this point. Actually, it would have been sick if we had one from
I know.
2018 too. Then we could be looking at this one and be like, damn, look at the growth, look at the change.
Yeah,
But hey, we got to start somewhere.
good. I prefer to do this one.
For sure.
I prefer. God knows why.
Yeah.
God knows why. God knows why it didn't happen then.
You might have been tripping a little bit harder back
I would
then.
have been really tripping. So, you know.
Hard to believe it's the same guy from that video.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I think the most gangster thing you could do is be good people.
Mm.
That's the most gangster thing you could do.
That's a fact.
Right? Deuce, deuce, my dog.
Deuce, deuce in the bubble goose. Bah! Don't make me, Spanky Loco. Hey, I appreciate you, G. For
Perro.
real. Much love, my guy. My dude.
Come on.
Spanky Loco, tap in. Turn my man up on all streaming services. I like this dog. If I brought my dog today, it would have been a fucking nightmare trying to control them.
They would have been tripping.
They would have been barking the whole time. Would have fucked the vibe up. Spanky Loco, man, much respect. I hope everybody enjoyed this. If you did, please smack the like button. No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world.
The coolest.
Tap in. Let's go.